Let's see. How's everybody doing? Just a normal stream today. Actually, yes, okay. The limiter is on. I was like, I'm not killing everybody with the music this time again, am I? What's up, Sean? See, as Secret Invasion is the weakest MCU show. I don't know. Sheena, I'm on time today. Reward goes to Sheena. You got a trophy. Trophy unlocked. No, I'm just kidding. Hope you're having a good Saturday. I've been up early this time around since like 9, I think. Well, to be fair, I just took a 30-minute nap. So does that still count? But yes. What did you win? You get an imaginary trophy. Imaginary trophy. What's up, Christian? I'm doing pretty good today. It's a pretty chill day so far. What's up, Shay? What's up, best friend? Ha. Not too much just yet. Coming out of this post-nap grog, but it'll take a minute. How's the day been? It's been pretty solid so far. No, I woke up. I got my shots today. Had some breakfast. Then I came back to a little bit of a nap. Well, that was after I did all the Bleach stuff. So I recorded and edited Bleach, but that's been my day so far. Damn it, I want a trophy. Maybe we can work something out. I'll figure something out. What's up, Ginger? How are you and how's Pop Tart doing? She's been a brat these past couple of days. She's actually doing pretty good. Pretty good. Knocking on wood, though I do not have any. This door's wood. Knock on wood that she stays fine. Like, she still sneezes every now and then, but no blood in like 2 weeks, which is just nice, which is good, I hope. You win. You did a good job. What are you sipping on? Looks like bourbon. It is. It is indeed. I haven't watched Secret Invasion. I'm not sure I'm interested in. I mean, there's nothing to really run right home about it. I honestly, like, I enjoyed most of it. Even if I think in the end I was a little disappointed. But there's really nothing about it you need to go and check out. I feel like at the end of the day, you're not really missing anything, I don't think. As impactful as I feel like it should have been, I don't feel like it left its mark quite a bit, as much as it should have. I mean, after Endgame-wise show. Fair enough. I know the Ezra's Malik theories have been going around. If it's true, would you like it or not? You dumbass. She just jumped right into the bottom of the chair, desk, because she couldn't quit. She couldn't quite make the gap, so she just hammer fisted herself through it. Conked her head right on the table. It's like, I don't know, there's not room for me, but I'm gonna make it. I mean, like I said in my reaction, I think it would be cool and interesting if they do something fun with it, but nothing right now makes sense for it to be Ezra. And it's Morok. M-A-R-R-O-K. I had to look that up on myself, but it is another figure, another name that is associated with wolves. So we got a little wolf pack if we include Morok with Balin Skull and Shin Hati. Can we talk about that deleted Flash scene and how upsetting it was that was excluded? Yeah, well, it goes to show that Eric Wallace really does have such a strong bias towards Cecile for some reason. Because instead, like, we didn't need that proposal scene. Most of us assumed they were married anyway. Honestly, none of us even thought about that. That scene that they deleted should have been in the episode. Like, that was 1,000 times better than any of those wrap-up scenes. A cat being a brat? Shocker. Well, I mean, that's normal for cats, right? You know, being a little sassy, being a little brat, being a little spoiled. You know? But she's got cancer, so as long as she's being brat, that means she's got energy. So it comes with its caveats. Did we get to discuss how happy I am that Loki and WandaVision are finally getting 4K releases? Yeah, man, dude, a bunch of shows too, like season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian are as well. And it's just like, feels like, why'd we wait so long? Why? But I'm glad they finally are. And I hope we get more physical releases for streaming shows and movies, man, because, dude, you don't know when they're gonna remove shit half the time anymore. Like, there's just more and more stuff. They're just like, we don't carry it anymore. I can't remember what it was, and I think it was on Max, maybe it was on Disney Plus. I can't remember, but I remember hearing there's a show that was a big show for him too, seemingly, and it just got removed from the platform. And I'm like, what's even the point? I think the only impactful thing that happened was Rhodey. Maybe, I don't remember. And that's still such a nothing berry, because I think they came out and said that it was after. It was, you know, they had teased the idea that maybe it had been since Civil War, but then they threw around the idea. I think they just came out and said that it happened sometime after Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I think that's just unfortunate. I think that, one, I think it doesn't matter when. It does matter to the story and to our investment when it happened, based on some things that happened, but it just undercuts so much that I don't think they really thought about it. And I think after the backlash, that's when they came out and they said that answer. Oh, Mr. Spelling. Yeah. Only because it matters. In this instance. What's up, Funky? Really enjoyed Ahsoka. Really, just recently watched a reaction. I hope you enjoyed it. Both the episodes and the reactions. I've got minimal critiques about the show itself. But there's been a lot of valid ones out there, I feel like, too. Because I know there's some people that haven't watched Rebels, that haven't watched Clone Wars and stuff like that. And it's this is one of the first shows you can't really just jump into, I don't feel like. Because it hasn't really held your hand that much. If you don't know the Rebels crew, you don't really, you're really kind of flying by the seat of your pants trying to keep up with everything. But I really enjoyed it quite a bit, because I have watched all these things, so it doesn't really, yeah. Aside from that, though, you know, I made my comments about some of the lightsaber fights. I do think some of the acting is a little off here and there, but it doesn't take me out of my enjoyment of the show, at least. At first, I was all about the X-Men recast, and hearing about them coming back, it made me realize how much I missed them. I'm not sure what you're talking about, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Ahsoka was awesome. What's a mercenary? Wait, they were not married. That's exactly my reaction in the reaction for the finale, was that. I was like, wait, they weren't? Hello, Sketch. Hello there. Which episode do you think Thrawn will first show up in? I'm probably going to guess 4. Maybe episode 4 or 5. Mid-season-ish. definitely need more physical releases. I need the rest of Stranger Things on physical media. Is 4 not out yet for that? I haven't checked. That's a show I would be, like, amazed to learn if they ever got rid of that on Netflix. But, again, give it time. You never know. Wish Agatha's show could have gotten a Halloween release. I would actually be willing to wait until next October so I could have it during Halloween. It just really depends on the theme of the show, really, at the end of the day. I mean, if it's got Halloween vibes at its center, I'm fine. I would agree with you. Otherwise, you know, it may just because it's a witchy show, maybe I don't need it to be in a Halloween setting. It just depends on what they kind of do with it for me. Watched They Clone Tyrone, newish Netflix original. Shit was pretty good. Likable leads, compelling mystery, good pacing, and the soundtrack score slapped. I've heard people mention it, but I've seen next to nothing about it. I've only heard like 1 or 2 people bring up that. Is it a movie or is it a show? I've heard both, that it's a show, and I've heard some people say that it's a movie, so I don't really even know. I think I've only heard it brought up like twice. I feel really sad for the actress Cecile. I mean, I like her fine, but my God, I just can't stand Cecile because, man, after season 6, she just got worse and worse. Did Wallace what to do with her? I don't know. Like he made a good chunk of the show just center around Cecile, and it really killed the vibe. Am I a Skrull? I don't know. Am I? I don't know. Let's see. The Spider Chronicles on Disney Plus show got canceled. They cast and shot and did a post-production on the first season, and then Disney just shelved it today. Blamed the strike. What? You can't blame the strike on it if it was finished, right? If it was finished, that's a buffer series to clear your slate when you can't make anything. That just sounds like they didn't have any faith in it and they just wanted to get rid of it. Because none of the... I mean, if you're in post-prod, there's nothing left. Like, you're done with the writers, you're done with the actors. There's no excuse for them to have not finished it if it wasn't finished. It just sounds like they don't want to release it. I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is, man. I think he's turning green. Shoot him. No! If you haven't watched Rebels or Clone Wars, it's their loss. Both are great. That is also very true. It's Morbin time. It's not a stream with Sketch if he doesn't give us a Morbin time. I've already watched episode 3 of Severance. Can't wait to see your reaction. You're just getting started. So many, oh shit, moments. Yeah, at this point, like, I was actually thinking about it in the middle of the episode. Yeah, I have watched episode 3 already. Again, that'll be coming out Tuesday. Gotta set a pace for myself. But, yeah, in the middle of the episode, I was like, I'm becoming increasingly aware of how many times I'm just what the fucking. And I'm just like, do I need a counter? I'm well past that point, but God, it's like one of my default reactions to this show is like, what the fuck? What is this? It's so good, man. Now thinking about half of War Machine's buddies are dead and he missed it. Who's gonna tell him about Tony? Well, he probably already knows. And again, like they just said, I'm pretty sure they already clarified that he was at least him for that. Ahsoka was so freaking awesome. Can't wait for the next episode. Me either. I cannot wait. Thoughts on the fights in Ahsoka so far? I haven't had much issues. I think slowness and sloppiness in some parts make sense with context. I will say, I think a couple of the fights feel too slow. Yeah. The Sabine and the Shin fight was the one that I thought was the slowest and sloppiest. But that's where I'm like, okay, we learned that Sabine hasn't been keeping up with her hand-to-hand. We know that she's let her hair grow out, so she's not really been in the field for some time, as we know, so she's not really kept up with it. And my internal justification for Shin's is that she's just matching Sabine and playing with her food. She seems like the type of person that would kind of toy with her prey a little bit. I mean, it seems like to me she could have gotten Sabine at any point throughout the fight, but I don't know. But some of the Ahsoka stuff even is a little slow for somebody of Ahsoka's caliber. But it's fine. It doesn't bother me. The rest of the story, the production, all of it just still holds everything together so well for me. They didn't officially release 3 or 4 on Blu-ray. Damn, really? That's ridiculous. What's up, Busy? How you doing? I feel like even in the future, I will always recommend a 20-episode series with its ups and downs over a high budget, okay story-wise TV shows. X-Files botched its ending 2 times, yet I still love it. I think the first ending was solid for what they were doing at the time because they had a plan to follow that up. The second time was on a 6-episode thing and it just completely destroyed it. I think 20 episodes at this point today is just too much. However, I don't think 6, I think 8 can be done well. I think the sweet spot is 10 to 13. Congrats on 50K. Why, thank you, Busy. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much, buddy. It's been a long grind. But you finally made it to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Soon you can feel my enjoyment and my sadness and angry and my awe, and I understood that reference. They cloned Tyrone as a movie. Okay, that's what I thought. Speaking of married, I was yesterday years old when I found out that Ewan McGregor and Mary Elizabeth Winstead are married. Yeah, I've known that for a hot minute. Fucking bastard. Anyway. Yeah, Obi-Wan is married to Hera in real life. Apparently they met on the set of Fargo, started having an affair during the Harley Quinn movie, and then after he got divorced, they got married a few months later. Yeah, I do remember the whole affair thing. You know, sketchy as that is. You know, shit happens, man. But, fuck you. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Not her. Ewan. How dare you. Anyway. Let's see. Mind you, it's now crazy to think that 13 20-episode shows get periodic hits over a streaming-specific series. I'm not exactly sure what you mean on that one, but so I don't know how to respond to that one. I'm not sure exactly what you mean there. The relationship makes me think of forced choking in a whole new way. I mean, I've had that thought many a times when it comes to Star Wars. No, please, no. What kind of whiskey am I sipping on? It is Wild Turkey, American Honey, Bourbon Whiskey. Is it just me? Or are the rest of 2023's movies a bit underwhelming? What else is there? I mean, Aquaman is supposedly still coming out this year. It's the one movie that WB has not delayed that's supposed to release this year. Well, they're hedging their bets on that one, I guess. We'll see what happens. But what else is there even? The Marvels. Shit, I can't even think of anything else. You know what? Let's take a peek. That shouldn't break the stream, right? Yeah, no. Okay. Let's take a look. See what all's coming out. We got Gran Turismo just came out today. Whoopty shit. I might go see that later tonight, though. Equalizer 3, Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, Nun 2, Haunting in Venice, Expendables 4, Saw 10. I'm looking forward to Saw 10. The creator looks wild to me. Five Nights at Freddy's. Jesus, that Exorcist movie looks like garbage. Dune Part 2 is no longer coming out, but it's still listed on here. That's not coming out anymore. Marvels is supposedly still coming out. Oh, that Hunger Games thing is coming out this year? Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. Wonka. This says Ghostbusters Afterlife 2 is coming out in December. And then, of course, Rebel Moon in December as well. Yeah, it's very light. Very, very light. So I could follow you on that one. The Kool-Aid kind. I don't know what that was about. Oh, I think that was in response to Oh Yikes. I personally wonder if their casting for Ahsoka, Ewan was just like, I know the perfect actress for Hera. That's a good point. Maybe they, who knows? They very well could have. Very well could have. Sorry, Omni. I meant that I feel like some people, the Ahsoka fights feel too short. I gotcha. I feel what you mean. I think most of us, but most movies are trying to pull an end game and be the best. They just need to be a good movie. I don't really give a shit. It doesn't need to be big, bad, loud, whatever. Just be good. Have I seen Succession? I have not. I binged the whole series 3 weeks ago. So good. Yeah, I have not seen it. It was on my list for the poll. It did not win though. Who knows? The poll. We'll get another poll up though once I'm done with getting towards the end for what did we call it? What are we watching? Severance, the other S show. Once we get closer to the end of that, or maybe into the middle of it, I'll probably go ahead and prep and do a poll for what will replace that. But yeah, it was like in the last poll though, Succession was like, it didn't even break the top 20, surprisingly enough. What's up, Lisi? Hello from Norway. How are you? I'm doing good. Finally, Ahsoka on TV. I give it 7 out of 10. There's a lot of slow breaks. No one spoke, just a few glances at each other. Hey, I thought there was a lot of visual storytelling. I liked those moments. I liked that we had a lot of downtime and time to breathe personally. Like, I'd give the first 2 episodes, despite some of my criticisms, maybe like an 8.5 or 9 if I'm feeling generous. I feel like Wallace tried to do what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did from season 2 onward, where they started implementing 2 stories, 1 season arcs, and where people behind the show made mistakes and learned from it. Wallace was maybe careful during Bloodwork arc, but afterwards he went up his own ass and never looked back and even questioned himself. Yeah, he definitely did not do any of that well, I'll say. Like he really big, like he really big make a lot of money, but it flops hard. Honestly, I've liked most of the movies to come out, even the bad ones. I mean, I haven't really. There's been one movie that I've been massively disappointed in that's come out this year, and that was The Red Door, the Insidious movie. Outside of that, I've mostly enjoyed pretty much every movie I've seen for the most part. So, that's a positive, I'd say. Ahsoka was meh for me. 4 out of 10 for episode 1 and 2. What the fuck? I mean, that's your opinion, man, but I don't see how. I don't see how. Like, I can't even comprehend that. But I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it, but I just do not understand. Think we'll see Hondo in this show? Probably not. I don't see why. Haven't seen Andromeda. I have not. Sci-fi series, kind of like Legends of Tomorrow type feel to it. I definitely have not seen it. I've heard of it though. I don't know. All those sci-fi shows around that era all just kind of blended together to me. It's funny because whenever Ward was talking to Sky, he's smart, but when he's talking to Fitz, he's a cartoon character. He's smart. He only sounds smart talking to Sky when he's talking about what he knows, because his conversation with Sky was talking about his contributions and his past and what he's good at. In those scenes with Fitz, he's not in on it's not his specialty, the conversations that are coming out. And you know, that, I don't know. I didn't feel like he was a cartoon character. He was just being an ass and refusing to let the people who knew what they were talking about talk about the things that they knew what they were talking about. I don't know. What's the next big movie that you're planning to go see? I mean, I guess the next big movie is The Marvels. But There's a lot of smaller movies that are going to be coming out that I'll be checking out, but I think that's the next big movie that I'm aware of between now and then, the end of the year, for the most part. Maybe Saw 10, if that qualifies. It's kind of a small movie. Side note, I've heard some complain about Ahsoka lacking heart / fun so far. I think it's just the situation we are in now where it's like the Quest and Ahsoka and Sabine are on better terms and it should change. Yeah, I don't know. I found a lot of it quite fun and enjoyable. I definitely don't feel like there's an absence of heart either. I feel like it's kind of had an abundance of heart, personally. Just because we're starting off in a bit of a rough patch for the characters, it's nothing but heart so far. Dune 2 getting delayed has me crying. I'm not shocked by that one. But yeah, the movie's probably not going to it's probably not going to be a box office hit regardless. What did the first one make? Yeah, it definitely didn't come out on top. Yeah, I don't think it made its budget back. Okay, maybe it didn't. It was cheaper than I thought it was. It was profitable. Barely. But I don't know. It just depends on the hunger, man. But I don't know. Right now, I think WB is just scared to release anything in the middle of this strike, obviously, with their actors and people not being able to promote the movie. I think it risks being even landing worse than the first one did. The creator about to be a banger. I saw the trailer. I didn't react to it, but I did see the trailer, and it looks really good. For me, the FNAF movie. I mean, it looks interesting. It looks, for somebody who's never played any of the games, and I only am aware of it, terrestrially. What's that? Peripherally. It looks fun. It looks interesting to me. It's definitely one. I kind of want to see what the big hubbub is about. Hopefully, it's a good representation, but we'll see. But I'm looking forward to checking it out. Have I seen the Rebel Moon trailer? I have. I have seen it. It looks massive. It looks impressive. I didn't have the energy to react to it and deal with the Snyder people. I just didn't even want to bother inviting that onto the channel, to be honest. After the day I was having when that trailer came out, I was like, nope, I'm not doing this today. But it looks good. It does look good. And I'll probably react to the movie when it comes out. No spoilers for Blue Beetle. Seeing it tonight. Be careful. I do not bar spoilers at this point for new movies, so just tread lightly. But hopefully everybody will read that and be a little respectful. I don't think there's anything to really add to the Blue Beetle conversation that would involve spoilers at this point. Not due. That Exorcist movie looks atrocious and looked like it stole a lot from the TV series. See, I didn't even know there was an Exorcist TV series. I know there was a couple bad sequels, or questionable sequels, but yeah, it looks not good at all. I'm excited for Killers of the Flower Moon. That looks really good. I didn't see that on there. Maybe I read over it when I was looking at the upcoming releases, but that looks really good. Again, another trailer I've seen, but I haven't reacted to it. My brother doesn't really care for DC. He likes James Gunn's projects and some animated stuff, but that's it. You can imagine my surprise when he wanted to see Blue Beetle with me. That's awesome, though. That's the people we need to snare. Let's see. Suits. A new network 20-episode preseason series was a surprise hit on Netflix over made-for-streaming series. In fact, many streaming data trackers actually say that older network shows do much better. They tend to. I mean, just people watch them in progression because it's just a lot to consume on streaming. You can just get by with just having content to binge. extending the end, but it's also not cost productive. And Suits is definitely a cheaper show to make than a lot of the stuff that we would watch. It's not, it just depends on the format and what they're doing. It can be done, but it is also very, very risky anymore. Unless you're making like a sitcom or something like that, which is stupid cheap. Unless you end up on Friends, where every cast member is making like $12 million an episode. Also, the fact that Ewan and Mary are together now makes me view Harley Quinn movie in a whole new light. Like, do they even have that much screen time together? And it felt like a missed opportunity. Well, I don't know. Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, they do have minimal screen time. She is trying to get to him, but there's some interesting scenes they definitely could have had in that. I still really enjoy that movie, but even though they were the title characters, it wasn't really about the birds of prey, unfortunately. So, like, I kind of get what they did with that, but yeah, that aside, I loved her take on Huntress. She's great in it, and I would have definitely taken more Mary in that movie. I like to think that now Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. deals with the celestial mess, and maybe it does or can't tell. Yeah, I brought that up too in my last reaction, I think. Miss the good old days when Star Wars movie trailers used to set the whole internet alight. Pure global insanity. Me too. Now it's just like everybody's so pissed off about everything. It doesn't even matter. Like, the conversation is just always just divided from the get-go. From the first image shown from anything. It's exhausting. Got like a... What the fuck? God damn it. Okay, there we go. There's like a, I don't know, eyelash or something just on my lip, and I could not get rid of it. Let's see. How are you enjoying my adventures with Superman? What's your thoughts on the next episode? I mean, if you've been watching my reactions, I'm in love with the show. So watch my reactions, because it sounds like you may not have. But yeah, I'm in love with it, man. It's next to Superman and Lois, it's one of my favorite Superman projects, probably of all time at this point. But as far as the next episode goes, I don't know. Is it the whole tease in and lead in for the next episode with Jimmy finding the sphere? I don't know where that's gonna go. I don't know how they're gonna play that. I just don't want his buddies to yet again turn against him, or at least doubt him. I hope we're past that, but I don't know. Maybe he'll stumble upon it, and now that even Jimmy's seen it, they'll collectively try to keep that secret away from him, and then he'll find out. I don't know. I don't know what the end's gonna be. I really don't know what we're gonna do in this last episode, because this last episode felt like that very much could have been a finale for the season. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of covers up most MCU movie stuff. Interesting. What's up, Grevlin? That's the name of the movie, Red Door. What the hell was that movie? Not great. Very dissatisfying, like, wrap up to a story we've been waiting for a long time. I'll probably eventually watch the new Saw, but I think some franchises need to stop making the same old thing, and this is one of them. I don't know. There's some that I like. Maybe it's because after the Kramer stuff came to a close, like, we've just seen so much subpar Saw after the fact that I'm actually pretty excited just to see, Kramer back. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to see it for sure. How about the Ghost? Will we see it? I don't know. It depends on who has the Ghost right now. It seems like maybe they don't even have the Ghost at the moment. Who do you think we'll see in the Ahsoka show? I think Zeb, Knight Din Grogu, and Luke, possibly Rex. I would be shocked if we do not see Rex. And I do think a Zeb cameo, at least, is inevitable. But we won't see Grogu, we won't see Din Djarin, and we won't see them. We could possibly see Luke, but we're definitely not going to see Din and Grogu because we know what they're doing right now. Right now, they are because this show is set while season 3 of The Mandalorian is happening. This is happening. So that's where all those characters are. Mando, Din, Grogu are doing all the things we saw them do in season 3 while this is happening. So I don't know, but I hope Zeb and Rex at least. I'm still mad that Kevin Feige still refuses to acknowledge whether or not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon, like not even addressing it if it's in the multiverse. Yeah, it feels like that's an easy answer, is just to be like, well, yeah, in the multiverse. Or just something. I don't know why it hasn't been addressed at this point. Like, just say it is or it isn't now that we're in the multiverse. You know, before, but we tapped into that, you know, keeping the multiverse secret. I get that if you're not like one to say, oh, it's another timeline or something like that, because we haven't jumped into it yet. But once we broke that seal open, like, I feel like it's a misnomer to not address it at all, unless he's just not sure yet if he's going to use any of it. And that could be what's holding him back. I don't know. I liked how my adventures with Superman dealt with the Suicide Squad. I did too. It was a lot of fun. And the kind of lead into Waller and her origin, kind of a little bit her history and stuff in this universe, it was a lot of fun. Very light / vague things regarding Blue Beetle. There was one scene that made me tear up surprisingly, and also the final fight gave me some Spider-Man 1 final fight vibes, if that makes sense. Oh, I got you there. I definitely got a lot of Spider-Man vibes throughout it. Yeah, there's a couple of scenes that got me to get a little misty, for sure. Yeah, it was definitely a mixed bag of an experience for me, but at the end of the day, I had a lot of fun watching the movie. I just hope that this won't be the last time we see that character, you know, and I'm sure we won't, but I hope we get to continue that story. I hope Ezra is that Inquisitor just to see Sabine freak out. I mean, if they could make it make sense, sure, that would be interesting. Like I said before, but none of the clues we've got so far would make it make sense that it's Ezra. So I don't know. They would need to really explain that. To be fair, of Ahsoka, we're only 2 episodes in and I'm having fun. Right? That's where I'm at. I'm really loving Sandman. Got 2 more episodes to go, including episode 11, because I know the main season was just 10 episodes, but then they added in a DLC episode a few weeks after. Love Sandman. If you have not seen that show, check it out. Any long shot fantasy strike will end soon. The strike will end soon. Not after the last little get together. I don't know. I'd give it maybe another 2-3 months, if that. Maybe even longer. I don't know. The fact that the studios are willing to hire a PR firm for crisis management for their image in the wake of the strike, and not just pay the extra money that these people are asking for, that is probably less than they would end up paying for that in the long run, and that they would take for the interest in the movies that they're holding back on and delaying. Like, they're wasting more money than is even being asked of them, which is, again, I don't know how these business people got into their positions being this fucking stupid. Well, we know why. It's been being as evil as they fucking are. Anyway, I think the first Dune came out during the day and date on HBO shit, so that doesn't count. That is also a good point. I forgot about that. So right now, it very well could just still be a toss-up. Yeah, I'm not shocked about Dune 2 delay, but it still hurts. Also, in regards to first box office, it was, yeah, same what Caleb just said, actually. Last week, Suits 20 episode per season surprisingly is a hit on episode. Netflix over completely made for streaming shows. Most streaming data analysts say that other shows do much better. Oh, so you just repeated what you said earlier. Gotcha. What's a rebel moon? It's a good question. A moon full of rebels, or a moon that wants to break out of its orbit? I start to worry about myself when I start to find characters like the Corinthian charming. I mean, that's kind of the appeal. Yeah, I actually just read that. Jeffrey here says you're supposed to find him charming. That's kind of the dangerousness of his character. That's kind of his venom. He is charming, and that's when he prays. I don't know. It's kind of the appeal of the character too. So I don't think you're wrong or to worry about it at all. It's kind of, I mean, it's hard not to find not just that character, but Boyd Holbrook not charming in some way. The Exorcist TV series lasted about 2 seasons, actually pretty well done. Never even heard of it. Maybe one day that might make our lists, but we'll see. You think Sabine being apprenticed to Ahsoka makes sense, especially that they're... looks like it cut off. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it makes as much sense as Kanan giving her instruction. And like I mentioned in the breakdown and some other videos of the past, like, anybody can use the Force. You know, and Sabine wanting to get better, maybe even at using a Jedi weapon, or even better at potentially exploring her Force sensitivity, everybody has it. It's just to varying degrees. There is not a single being that is living in the Star Wars galaxy that does not have the Force. Everybody does. Han Solo does. Leia, we know does. Lando does. Freaking, what I'm blanking on who. Mon Mothma does. They all do. It's just whether or not they have the, they take the time to hone that connection, or just whatever their natural limits may be. Everybody feels it. So like when Han's like, I got a bad feeling about this, that's the Force. Anytime he is reacting, interacting, he gets a feeling, it's the Force. It's just like it manipulates and flows, literally, as Obi-Wan said, through everybody and everything. It binds the universe together. And Lucas himself has said that the midichlorians, or everybody, just like athletes, have a natural aptitude. So some people might be born better at it than you, but you can always, given the time, like a muscle, work it out. You can work at it. And Sabine just sucks compared to your average person who would have probably been picked up as a Jedi. And again, I think that's what ties her dreams. I think her dreams are very much connected to whatever minute Force connectivity she has at the moment. So I think it makes sense at the end of the day. And just for the lack of Jedi that are out there in the world, maybe just kind of sharing that knowledge, I think that's beneficial, like I mentioned. Even if she can't use the Force, I think sharing that knowledge is beneficial, especially for a Mandalorian, of all people, who at this point has pretty much lost her people to the point where she doesn't even know what's happening out there with the other clans. She's that disconnected from it all. So, like, I don't know. I think it's really interesting because it's also a very different relationship than we've seen before. You know, just sharing the Jedi ideals with somebody who might not be able to actually do it. Kind of like, what's his name? I don't remember the character's name. Chewit? I think that was his name. Donnie Yen's character in Rogue One. Like, he's not a Jedi, but he follows their ideals. And look what he was able to do. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. And he busts ass. Like, it's just like, it's there in varying degrees. Anyway, I think it makes sense. I think it's cool, because we haven't seen something like that fleshed out in this way. I find it very interesting, personally, if you couldn't tell. Seen a lot of discourse online about movies, and especially the recent unexpected box office failures, has been really interesting to someone who goes to the cinema twice a week. Nothing annoys me more than people just deciding a movie is going to be a flop before it's come out and before anyone has ever even seen it. Like, that is dumb. Like rock boulder level thinking right there. And then that's part of the problem too, is people are making their minds up based on what they've heard or whatever. And then obviously there's other things, other factors that shouldn't have anything to do with movies that are factoring into it. And, you know, they're talking people into not seeing these movies all at the same time. I don't know what's happened. I know what's happened, but that's a whole conversation I'm not having on this channel. Anyway, what's up, Renan? I've been watching Attack on Titan before the series finale comes out this fall. I'm on season 3. Is it your first time, or are you watching for the first time? I can't wait for the series finale. I'm so excited for it. If I recall correctly, aside of a few things, we went through almost all the trailer footage for Ahsoka already. Yeah, I think barring the scenes of her fighting Balin, I think we've seen everything that's been in the trailers already, which is nice. People just love to hate on things, and it's sad. I agree with that. It's easy to hate, man. It's easy to hate. You think Sabine being an apprentice? Oh, you just corrected your own statement from before. I'm glad that Ahsoka is 8 episodes, because some of these 6-episode shows feel too rushed. Agreed. I was a little concerned when we got those first 2 episodes, and I'm like, damn, we only have 4 left. And then I looked at the page and was like, oh, there's 4. There's 8 total for the season. All right, cool. We got 6 left. That's better. I feel a little bit better about the whole thing. Can we talk about the multiverse episode of My Adventures with Superman? I mean, we can if you got anything you want to say about it. I'm going to watch The Walking Dead, Dead City, or Daryl Dixon. Like I've said many times, I am not planning to, unless I see something that really makes me interested. The only Walking Dead show I know I'm going to watch is the Michonne, the Rick and Michonne show. Whatever, I forgot what they decided to call that. That's the only one I know for a fact that I plan on watching. Yeah, the other ones just like it's just for the channel. It's just not it's not worth the effort, and it's just not. I'm just not interested in what they're doing with them, man. As much as I love Negan and Maggie and their dynamic, I can't make myself care. And Daryl being in France, I don't get it. And the trailers, I've seen them for both. It's just stuff it's also stuff we've seen before on other things that are very similar that I think have been done better elsewhere. But it is what it is. I apologize if that came off very harsh. It's just I've had my fill of The Walking Dead for this point. And I blame that for mostly on the handling of the main show and the culture around it for the most part. For the most part, yeah. But I was debating on getting the book so I can finish them, because I do want to do that and like get the good ending. My Adventures with Superman should have totally been the canon backstory for the DCU Superman. Being well received by the fans, plus the fact that Legacy isn't an origin, could have been a perfect combination. That's not a bad thought, but it does set the stage and the confines for what they want to do here that sets itself a little too far out of the norm for, I think, what Gunn wants to do. I don't know if that would gel completely. It would also really throw a bit of a wrench into expanding the DC universe in a way to the other characters with the whole heavy tech alien influence for the origin for all these metas. It's doable, but I don't know if that's appealing for what they want to do, if that makes sense. I feel like I mention this every time I'm here, but I'm about to jump in my car and go steal the final 6 episodes of Doom Patrol from WV Vaults. I'm sick of waiting. Me too. Me too. Do you think you'll do a reaction video to Jujutsu Kaisen? Maybe one day. I have been getting a bit of the anime itch, getting in the middle of Bleach again, now that we're back into the second core of 1,000 Year Blood War. I've definitely been getting the itch to check out some more current anime that I just have missed out on or skipped out on. That's one of them. But, you know, that, My Hero, hell, even with One Piece coming out next week, the live action version, I was like, should I start One Piece? But then I would have to commit my life to doing that. But I will be watching the live action show when it comes out this week. What's up, Ninjaro? Good evening, Omni and chat. Welcome, Ninjaro. It's awesome that Jack Quaid has cemented himself in so many big franchises / films. My Adventures with Superman, The Boys, Star Trek, Scream, Oppenheimer. Cannot wait for more. Yeah, man, he's been having quite the time in this last year or so, man. I like the fact that it includes the Suicide Squad and Waller, etc. It's just a missed opportunity. I feel you. Might be weird, but I really love Star Wars fights where people use melee weapons that aren't lightsabers, like energy swords and staff, if that makes sense. Like, I love lightsabers, but other laser stuff is fun too. I get you. I agree with that. Vibro staffs and blades and all that kind of stuff, especially the vibro knife fights and stuff in Mando. Always really found that really interesting. I like seeing the kind of ways people try to adapt and try to compete with the lightsaber of all things, and seeing just the creative ways that they've come up with little gadgets and gizmos to work around that in some kind of similar fashion. Thought Solo did great, but I literally cannot see him as Miguel. Really? Wait, Miguel? Oh, not see him as Miguel. I was like, wait, are we confusing things here? I see what you mean. Yeah, I thought I was able to not see Miguel when I was watching it. You know? I personally was able to get past that barrier, but I can understand that issue. But he did do really good. I saw him as Jaime, and I think he did a really good job at that. And I want to see him do this character more. What do you want? You want out? Some people thought Invincible was generic until the end, where every episode got crazier. Now everyone loves it. That could be Ahsoka. I mean, it could be anything. Like it's hard to for people to write off. I don't understand writing something off just right out the get-go, or be like, why don't we have the answers now in the first episode? You know, I don't know, but I don't know if that's the case here or not. And that's the thing about Invincible. I didn't think it was generic from the get-go. I just didn't even know about it until I saw it blowing up. And I was like, what the hell is this Invincible thing? And I watched the trailer and I was like, holy fuck. Let's give this a watch. I heard on Reddit that Blue Beetle, a radio announcer, confirms in Spanish that Bruce Wayne bought Twitter. Oh God. Really? That's interesting if that is true. Exactly, I've been saying this from the start. They should have just immediately accepted the strike's terms, and we wouldn't have to delay and pay so much money anyway. Yeah, because they're gonna have to pay interest on these films that they're delaying on top of that. And, you know, they're hurting the sales of their current stuff. Like, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, it's just stupid. And it's like, it's mind-numbingly simple stuff that's being asked for. And the propositions that they've made, especially the first ones, the reasons for refusing the first proposals was supervillain shit. I don't know how else to explain it. Because it seems like the richer you are, the greedier you are. Yeah, but then you just spend more money elsewhere to cover your ass because you had too much pride to not fuck over somebody else. Anyway, big problem in business. Talent is not promoted. Politics gets you promoted. It's a problem. Ask Budweiser. LMAO. Huh? I think I don't know the Budweiser situation, so I don't know. But I think I kind of get what you're saying in the first part of that. But anyway, maybe you make a movie about Thrawn. Who is he and where does he come from? There's going to be too many of those already on the internet that would be so many more, much more informative than anything I could come up with. So I would just type that into Google, and I know for a fact there's already Thrawn explained videos that are really well done, because I've had to watch a few to catch up on a couple of stuff because it's been so long. So I would recommend doing that. I would do no justice to it, I promise you. Any advice on how to stay consistent with stuff? Like, I maybe want to do YouTube one day, but I worry I'll suck at uploading often with enough quality to build sort of consistent viewer base. I'm awful with consistency. The thing that keeps me consistent for the most part is just holding myself to a schedule, and I have help with editing now. I have some of my shows that I get help from to help me edit. If I was still doing everything by myself, one, we would have way less on the channel than we do at the moment, and videos would be like not same day or next day. They would probably be a little bit late, but I don't know. It's hard. Consistency is my worst thing. Like I have to, like, it is a sheer force of will to keep me on target. So I don't have good advice except making a schedule and doing your best to stick to it. For me, I have a little bit of an edge, I would guess, because I have like an itch or an OCD, and I get anxious about this stuff at times and not getting stuff to you all. So like, even if I try to take a break from it, I can't stop thinking about it. So then if I don't, to stop thinking about it, I need to go work on it. And to stop thinking about it, I need to get it done. So it's a catch-22. Sometimes I'm just straight up too tired. And like, I just have to bury that, but I don't know. It's just, I don't have good advice, unfortunately, I don't think. I'm sorry. I've already read them once before, but about 2.5 years ago, after I saw season 1, but I'm currently again rereading all the Invincible comics. I just can't wait to see what they do in season 2. Yeah, I don't know shit about the comics, and I don't want to, because that made the experience with season 1 so much fun. What's up, Janine? Sorry if it was already mentioned, but I remember in 2007, 8 Strike. I lost so many good shows, Pushing Daisies, Moonlight, for example, so I hope things get resolved soon. Yeah, me too. Press, the series, I think, is about to get crazy. I've not heard of this one at all. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, penetrates us, and binds the galaxy together. Force theme plays. I saw that pop up on the side when I was giving my rant about about the Force, and it tickled me a little bit, but I just stayed on course with my rant. My out there theory for the final episode of Ahsoka is that the Rebels crew find Ezra in the other galaxy and he's cut off from the Force. He's gone mad, muttering Yuzhen Vong over and over and over again. Oh, that would be haunting. I cannot see them, at least at this point with the future we know exists, unless they somehow deal with it in the 20 years in between. 15 years if you want to stay close to when things fall apart, give or take. I don't know how you deal with the Yuzhen Vong, a threat like that. So with the state of the galaxy and the state that it's currently in, that would be interesting if they even hint at that. Maybe instead of an entire race out there, like it could be like a few, maybe. I don't know. Everyone had the Force inside them. Chirrut uses ear, Han uses to feel, Jedi uses the Force to connect. You balance, Sith put leashes on the Force and orders it around. We're saying the same thing. Yup, Force theme plays again! Then should I ask, the show convince you enough for you to believe that there was some history between Sabine and Ahsoka? I mean, yeah. I mean, clearly. I mean, 5, 8. At this point, it was 9 years. Yeah. 9 years have passed since the actual end of Rebels. Epilogue, because we just saw that one scene from the epilogue. At least that's been confirmed, apparently. They've just retconned it. It has been, excluding the epilogue, the Rebels ended 9 years ago. So that's 9 years where there's a history we have not seen with these characters. So, yeah, anything could happen. And the way they played it up really sold me on it. I hate that so much. Not only the movies, the series, and games too. Things get announced and it doesn't even have a trailer yet. Oh, sucks. Worst thing ever. Flop! Which is funny when I saw that comment in the live stream on Harley Quinn when the Joker gets outed for not having killed Nightwing. And one of the comments was just flop in all caps. It's like, that doesn't even make sense in the situation, but that's the thing you see a lot now. And yeah, dude, I swear to God, if I hear woke, I immediately just throw your opinion out the window. Because like 99% of the time, their definition is not even the right definition. It's just means I don't like it, and it means all the isms you can think of all in one. Like, it's never been a valid criticism. Every time I want to judge before I watch something, I think Heath Ledger. Exactly. Honestly, I say that too. That's my exactly thing. The last time I pulled a butt, like a typical crybaby, like fan thing, was the Heath Ledger thing. I was like, the pretty boy from A Knight's Tale is gonna be the Joker? This is gonna suck. Always think back to that. Sure, it's freaking awesome. I adore Rogue One. Agreed. It's groupthink. Social media is creating virtual groups of people, and big groups of people are stupid. That goes back to one of my favorite movie quotes from Men in Black. It's like, a man is smart, but people are dumb. Yes, you put them together, and it's just shit gets off the wall. Seeing human Ivo inside a giant parasite suit made me think of Attack on Titan. There's been a couple of instances that made me think of that, but I thought more of it more like a Gundam, though. Then in season 2, Sabine has to nurse Ezra back to health, and Ezra slowly reveals the Yuzhan Vong are planning to attack the galaxy, and Thrawn has teamed up with them. That would be quite an insane twist, to be honest. There are a few specific trailer scenes that we didn't get yet, but whatever you've forgotten is better that way. Yeah, I mean, it's not nothing huge, at least. You agree the TV show Doctor Who has never delivered on its premise. It should be great, but apart from Blink and a few other episodes, it's just pantomime shite. Hi, from Liverpool. I do not, because Doctor Who is one of my top 10 TV shows of all time. I've seen all the classic episodes, and I've seen all the current stuff as well. Not everything hits, but I really do adore the character and adore the show. And I think there are many episodes that are on par with Blink. But that's just me. So, wrong person to get ask that opinion of, I would say. I really do love Doctor Who. Last few seasons have not been great, but that doesn't hamper my enjoyment of everything up until this point. Can anyone tell me about The Expanse? It's when The Expanse gets interesting. I'm playing the Telltale game, and I'm trying for the second time to get into the show, and I'm having trouble staying interested. I've never seen it, so I definitely can't answer that. Do you think you'll continue Twisted Metal? Oh yeah, for sure. I've already watched the first 3 episodes now. I just don't have a set release schedule for it at the moment. I was thinking about doing all 10 just back to back, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, one a day, but I obviously have failed to do that. So you're gonna get one Monday for sure, because I've already got 2 edited and ready to go. I just haven't posted it because I haven't edited 3 yet, and I haven't watched 4 yet. So I'm gonna. I just gotta pace myself. But yeah, I'm going to finish it. God damn it. Make up your mind. Okay. I like the movies that don't get great reviews or bombed and disliked hits. It's all about preference. Shouldn't let others' opinions influence too much whether you watch something. But that's the thing. Too many people are doing that these days there. And I think part of that has to do with inflation as well, and just theater costs. I think there's a combination of effects. Obviously, we are still in like the back half of a pandy dandy, and on top of that, inflation's caused a big issue, and theaters have been really hiking their prices up. Like, I at least get by a little bit because I have a monthly pass. So as long as I see 2 movies a month, I'm getting my money out of that subscription. And it saved me money on the concessions though. But like, that's the thing. Going to the movies these days is, it's a chore. It can be. I can get that. And it's not any easier, especially with again, just like some inconsistencies over the last couple of years because of those production problems. I think people just are trying to make up their mind, or at least convince themselves of their opinion so they can save a buck, or they're just waiting for streaming. Anyway, there's a number of issues that are causing a decline in the attendance. But hell, dude, Barbie blew up. Oppenheimer blew up. But like, it's still going to like, these movies are still going to land. It's just, I don't know, I just think certain vectors, especially in our spheres, in the nerddom spheres, people are so just divided at this point, and I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. There's so many factors. There's no one answer for what's going on. But for me, like you, I don't give a shit what other people say. I don't care if it got bad reviews. If I want to see it, I'm going to see it and formulate my own opinion. And sometimes my opinion's not the popular opinion, so it is what it is. I guess you could say you're dead from Walking for the Walking Dead show. I guess you could. Daryl Dixon is being set in France because Norman Reedus relocated there with his missus, who has a more successful French film career there. Yeah, but that doesn't make the story justification better. I don't even know what that story justification is, per se, but that's the thing. It's like, I can understand why Norman is there. I don't understand why Daryl is there. And the premise I saw in the trailers was, it's just another escort mission that we've seen 100 times. It just, I don't get it. I don't know. Like, I wanted to, when it was proposed to be this globe-trotting adventure, not globe-trotting, it was supposed to be like a cross-country road trip movie or show or whatever. I assumed it would just make sense and be in the States, which is still not vastly appealing in a broader sense, but at least that makes sense to me right now. But I don't know. I could just be being a hater and make an opinion before I've even seen it. But I've given so much of my life and time to The Walking Dead, and not enough of that time has paid off. As a fan, as a viewer, or whatever. So that's just kind of where I'm at. Like, I have to be sold on it. I have to see something, hear something. It's like, oh shit, if I'm going to check out a Walking Dead thing. The only reason I'm checking out the Rick and Michonne thing is because they were one of the few things that the main show did not deliver on. So I just gotta wait and see what happens. It's a rewatch. I saw the show back in 2019. I've been watching all of season 4 as they came out every Sunday back then. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. So phenomenal. I have to agree with you on that. Attack on Titan is fucking brilliant. And I can't wait to see how they close it off. Man, dude, like this last season has been a roller coaster. But it's also funny to me that this last season has been lasting like 4 years. Those male trailers and marketing looked bad, but the show's pretty fun, not gonna lie. That's where I'm at. Like, I saw some people say like it gets better after the second episode, but I really enjoyed the second episode. So yeah, I just hope it's uphill from here, because I'm already having a lot of fun with it. The first episode so far is definitely the worst episode I've seen. But the trailers definitely did not do it any justice. Doom Patrol, I still haven't seen season 4, but just in case it gets canceled, I want to end the show on a happy note, like the way season 3 ended. But please, WB, release the rest of season 4. James Gunn said it's coming out. We just don't know when. We just do not know when. Please watch Jujutsu Kaisen. It's another amazing anime show. Season 2 is currently airing. One day, maybe. Like, not right now, not anytime, I do not have it in my planned future right now. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. But doesn't mean I won't not watch it, just not in the cards currently. But it is one of the shows I do want to check out. Don't worry, Omni, it will take 1,000 years to finish One Piece. That's one of the main reasons I've never started it. I always love when a Force user has no weapon to work with and still beats somebody, especially when that other one has a lightsaber, like for example in Tales of the Jedi 1-6. Yeah, that shit's always real good. Real good. Walking Dead had its ups and downs for sure, but nonetheless, it's had some of my favorite characters and TV moments ever. I'm in it for the long run, but I understand people who chose to stop after the main was done. Yeah, I've got nothing connecting me to these spin-offs after what happened with the main show. I saw it through to the end because I loved the show and I had already sunk so much time into it, but it wrapped up. And the only real end of that story that is left is the Rick stuff. Because those answers were brought up and those questions were brought up in the main show, so I consider it at least an extension of that, so, or an epilogue to that, so we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. The fact that it wasn't an end, but it was like it was a fracturing really than a finale is what irks me the most. Why don't we have answers now? Well, because the story would already be over or not interesting. Very true. I thought your shirt said banger this whole time. Getting real confused on the color strikes, but it says Ranger. Yup. Power Rangers, man. What pisses me off is they could give us all the things these people need and still be filthy rich, if not richer, eventually. It's the dumbest, greediest, evil bullshit. Agreed. I don't know if I've recommended these before, but if you love Sandman, I highly recommend Good Omens and American Gods. American Gods I've heard great things about. Good Omens, I've watched 3 episodes when it came out, and I haven't finished. Me and my girlfriend were watching those, and we just never went back to it. So I've seen the first half of the first season, so I need to go back and eventually finish it. For sure, I'm not intending to spoil anything from Invincible. I believe you. I trust you. You did damn good with Dark, not spoiling anything. Even knowing them, I'm so curious. Can't wait for it. 10 more weeks. Yeah, it is that close, isn't it? Don't make me asking, what is that picture in the back? That is me with Grant Gustin and Stephen Amell. Sorry I missed the word that meant Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, okay. I gotcha. No worries. What's up, Tharuka? How are you doing? I am loving my adventures with Superman. Have been enjoying your reactions as well. I'm glad you've been enjoying the reactions. I would hope so. Otherwise, I'd feel bad. As a person who knows nothing, who knows about the Invincible comics, I think the best for you to not know, because the show has really good, shocking moments and wholesome tear shedding. Yeah, that's one of the things that going into a blind made it so much more fucking mind-blowing. And I believe it ends next week. Yeah, it came and went so fast, man, but season 2 is already greenlit, so hopefully we do not have to wait too long for it. I have to go cut my hair. Hopefully you'll still be live when I return. Otherwise, hope your haircut goes well, and we shall see. Dune delayed till 2024. Thoughts? Talked about it earlier. I'm not surprised. It makes sense, but at the same time, it only makes sense when the studios are continuing to be evil, maniacal douchebags. Is the only reason it makes sense. The only reason I expected it, because otherwise they could have just agreed to the terms that have been set before them and released the movie and allowed their people to promote the movie, and maybe they get their money back. But now they're paying interest on the movie and refusing to pay people and paying PR and spending even more money on stuff that could come out and get them money because they don't want to pay a little bit of money to the people making the shit for them. Yeah, it sucks. I want to watch the movie, but people want to be people. And the only time hearing reading woke is acceptable isn't, hey, I just woke up. And others uses the word in this specific way. Agreed. I must be old, but I still don't understand what woke means. Are they saying diversity is bad? Most people that use it aren't even using it correctly. So it's pretty much lost all meaning and has become basically a low-key way of saying, I hate women, I hate people of color, I hate people of alternate sexual situations that are anything other than straight. So it's, if you use it, you are just outing yourself, is what I perceive, because that's the only way to read it anymore. It no longer means what it actually means, because people who use it don't know what the fuck it means. They're just dumb as shit. They're so dumb, man, that they just create their own echo chamber, and then it feeds into this ever-ending, loud, cacophonous noise of fucking turkeys just... Sorry. Did I tell you how I feel? Does that tell you how I feel? What's your most anticipated movie for the rest of the year or next year? What do you clarify, Haruka? Do you mean next year or the remaining portion of this year? I never said the word woke because I don't know what it means. Seen as being used as it's different. David Tennant, best doctor ever. In my mind, like eventually, like usually that was where I was at for a long time. Especially when I started the series. Over time, it shifted to Matt Smith, and the further I get away from it, the more and more Capaldi's Doctor he's just one of my favorites. It's so hard for me to pick one these days. I love them all, but they all for different reasons. So anymore, I just find it so difficult to pick. Like, cause David Tennant was great and had great stories. Matt Smith was great and had some mixed stories, but for the most part, they were all pretty solid. And the thing, Peter Capaldi was phenomenal, but his stories were kind of ass outside of Missy. But he pulled the weight so much. He's got some of my hands down favorite moments, interactions, speeches, all that jazz. But like when I think back on like the biggest heavy hitting moments, like it's either Tennant or Matt Smith. In my head, like as much as I love David, he's a very fractured doctor in a lot of ways. And even Matt Smith's doctor is still wrestling with a lot of issues. But I think he overcomes a lot of those issues. And Matt Smith, for me, like his doctor has been the one that I think most lives up to the name he chose, if that makes sense. He's the closest out of any of them that has embodied the Doctor to me. Everybody else was either running from it or embracing it, even though he was running from his problems, which allowed him to be more there in the moment for people, which became a problem, as that was part of the arc. He was too there. He was too present. But I think that was at the end of the day, I think he was the closest to that, and then he had to reel himself back from it. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like Heath Ledger, though, they made a Super Mario movie, a shot, and I liked it when I saw it. Chris did a good job. Agreed. Blame capitalism. We've held up billionaires for so long, we've started to treat them as kings. Also, in fact, a lot of normal people view themselves as temporarily displaced billionaires. Doesn't help. Very true. I love it too, dude. Just wish it was more consistent, that's all. Good to speak, and keep up the good work. And thank you, Craig. Yeah, I would definitely, I would definitely appreciate it to be more consistent. But I just think there's far more good, even than episodes that I think are subpar, in the grand scheme of things, for me. Doctor Who pantomime shite. I also have to disagree. It's one of my favorite series. I like Twisted Metal. I just think that it drags its feet a bit. Like sometimes it lollygags a little. Still had a good time with it. I kind of was feeling that a little bit in episode 3, like with the Agent Stone stuff, but I feel like it was all necessary to set things up later, so we'll see. I still need to watch episode 4 and onward. I still can't... Spoilers for episode 2. I can't believe they did Harold, man. Speaking of cats, the Ahsoka Loth cat was so good. Yes, it was. Hey, love. Hope everyone is sweating less than I am right now. I got my shirt up in front of the fan. What AC not work? Or do you not have AC? Or is it just you outside? What's going on? Hope you can get cooled off a little bit. I love that Pop-Tart's looking like a lion. It's cute. Yeah, it's the result of getting her fur trimmed. It's the only cut you can do for a cat, it seems like. But it is what it is. What's up, Noober? What a week of content. Ahsoka, 2 episodes. My Adventures with Superman, both peak content in their respective media. Fortunately, Dune is a fat L. Hey, your writers. Agree on all fronts, Nuber. Oppenheimer blew up, all right. Yep. Oh. Most anticipated movie for the rest of the year is Killers, The Flower Moon. I don't know. I don't know what I'm most looking forward to this year that's left. Like, I do want to see Saw. There's a lot of movies I want to see, but there's nothing. I don't feel like there's anything like I'm like hangering to watch that's left. That's probably the closest one. Is that or Help? I was blown away by the Rebel Moon trailer, so I definitely want to check that out. Saw 10 looks good. I'm looking forward to that. But nothing I'm like, woo! Need it. I've not been to a theater in 4 years. Don't miss it. Coughing, chewing, talking, kids yelling. No thanks. Home theater serves booze also. Bonus. Yeah, the kids thing, it's just something you just gotta take the roll of the dice at, but I 100% prefer being in a theater than watching anything at home. It's just not even close for me. Like, I can't enjoy something half as much at home as I would in the theater. Spence gets good around 9. It's hooked on episode 3. Agree that Lothcat is adorable. Doctor Who has too many episodes for me to consider getting into it. I've already got 5 years committed to Bleach. Yeah, it's hard once the series just has gone on for so long, but I feel you there. I'll react to sitcom in the future. It would be fun. I mean, I don't even know what current sitcoms are. And all the ones that would matter, I've seen or have zero interest in. The only one, well, that's not true. I've not seen, do these qualify? The Office, Parks and Rec, I haven't seen, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I haven't seen. I don't know if these count, but maybe they do. I don't know. And what's it? Arrested Development. The Office, I would consider watching one of these days. Who could have predicted Barbie would be as big a hit as it was? I saw the posters way back. I was more confused than anything. I'm glad it turned out to be good. When I saw the posters and when I saw the first teaser, I was like, okay, this is going to be something. And it was. One thing I hate is when someone says they don't like something in a respectful manner. People will reply, why did you even have to comment then? Or stop watching it. Like, opinions are allowed to be shared. That's another thing too, man. Like, it's just like, you can't, if you don't meet the vibe of the whole thing, like, people just jump on you just the same. Like, even if you don't say anything ill or anything of the sort. Do you think the Lothcat is 100% animatronic, or is a mix of a live cat in there somewhere? The movement looks so cat-like. Oh, it's definitely animatronic with a little bit of CGI. What's up, bro? Did you watch the Rebel Moon trailer? I just talked about that. I have. I just refuse to react to it. Or rather, I do not have the energy to react to it. It looks amazing. It looks really good. That Lothcast must be both like Grogu. That's what I think, man. You really dismiss or attack you. You don't say that the show isn't my cup of tea. It's okay if you disagree. It's entertainment. People search for different outlets. They set up that Daryl Dixon show is supposed to be dealing with the outbreak of smart walkers. It started in France, according to the main show. Season 1 appears to just be an escort mission, though. So I'm guessing it's a slow burn. People say Twisted Metal has MCU humor, but the jokes that Sweet Tooth make are dark as fuck. Yeah, no. Like, it's got that cadence, we have to, like, have a joke every 2 seconds kind of vibe to it. But a lot of them are either middle school humor or, like, dark as fuck, like you said. Some twisted jokes at times. But the thing is, like, it's just like with a show that tries to do like a joke, have like a joke per minute kind of count. A lot of them are going to miss the beat, and I think that's what more people mean. Is like the MCU has become like how can we dispel any tension with a joke in every scene? And we see a lot of that. So I can see where they're going with that, but if you actually watch the show and not the trailers, it doesn't, I don't get the MCU vibe, but I can see how, like, from an outsider perspective, you can make that connection. Though Dune is delayed, we still have David Fincher's Killer, Wonka, Napoleon, Marvel's Hunger Games creator. Yeah, I just listed out a bunch of those. I don't know Killer. I do know about the Napoleon thing, but I wouldn't expect that to be a bonanza. Already misspelling things. Stupid small keyboard. People tie too much personal judgment to things they are fans of. Just because I think something is lame doesn't mean you're lame for liking it. Exactly. Exactly. Did you know the WWE wrestler Bray Wyatt passed away? Sad couple of days for pro wrestling fans. I saw that come up on my feed, but I'm not familiar at all. But rest in peace, all the same. Stuck with The Flash for all 9 seasons. It was not worth it. I personally think it should have ended with season 8 when Barry and the Flash family defeated Thawne for the last time. I kind of agree. I mean, I still like some things they did in it, because that episode 10 and episode 9 were some of the best in the franchise, but the rest of the season was just, I don't know. People enjoy polarization and negative bias. More often than not, social media is a cesspit. Yup. Since Save Tenant is as relevant as he can be, I figured I'd drop a factoid about Hu Yang. He apparently was dropped off at the temple in a blue box. Cue the Doctor Who theme. I've heard that. I've heard that factoid. Doctor Who Star Wars canon? Confirmed? Have I played Armored Core 6 yet? It's so fun. I've been watching some people play it, but I don't really have a personal interest in checking it out myself. But I wouldn't say never. But right now, I don't really. I played Armored Core back in the day, and it was never quite my cup of tea. But I don't know. Depends on my mood. That could change. I'm curious how they're going to rewrite Rexplode's character. Because in season 1, he's way more of an ass than he is in the comics. Oh, when you said Rexplode, I completely forgot the fuck you were talking about for a second. I remember now. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know how he is in the comics, so I can only tell you how he is in the show. What's up, Jason? Sorry, I might have missed this earlier. My Ahsoka theory is that Morok being Starkiller, and that plays into the Mortis god symbolism. Anakin, father, Ahsoka's sister, Starkiller, son. Thoughts? I mean, it's an interesting theory, and I've seen a lot of people throwing around that Morok might be Starkiller, or Galen Merrick of sorts, just this version. But that would be, that could be interesting. But it just all comes down to how they do it. Starkiller is a very tightrope of a character to include in the canon. And I don't think there's a way to necessarily do it at this point that would really feel too rewarding for people who really love Starkiller in the games. But yeah, we'll see. It's definitely possible. But again, like I mentioned, if you haven't seen my my reaction to the breakdown or whatever, something that Eric Voss and them didn't include, surprisingly enough, is that Morok, again, is another wolf motif thing. Because Morok is a character, and again, he's got a knightly Inquisitor armor set that we've never seen before. It looks very medieval. But Morok in Arthurian legend is a knight who was betrayed and turned into a wolf by a witch who belonged to the Coven of Morgan Le Fay, like the iconic Arthurian Morgan Le Fay. And who is here? Who is this witch who was just revealed? Morgan Elsbeth. And just like with Balin's Skull and Shin Hati, both of which are named after wolf figures. However, they're from Norse mythology. Morok is a wolf character from Arthurian legend. So like it's all gelling, man. Wolves are all over this shit. So it is what it is, man. Wolves play a huge part in the whole Rebels threads and what we're exploring here. Walking Dead ended when Michonne left for me. I just didn't care about anyone else anymore. My love for the show died with Carl. That's just how it is. And that's why I think it should have ended at season 8. That finale was, while not perfect, acted as a perfect bookend for the entire show. Everything after that just feels like extra. None of it does anything to further the actual themes of the show. Like, everything that started with season 1, episode 1, concluded thematically in season 8, the final episode. And while it didn't end in a way that I would have been appropriate, or I feel like it should have, or could have, had the executives in charge at the time not, again, been assholes and fucked themselves over just because they wanted to save a buck and get themselves out of some drama. They had an okay stopping point. But again, greed furthers it, because they're like, we gotta milk this thing until we can't anymore. Source, Brotherhood by Mike Chen. What was that a reference to? Oh, the source for your comment earlier. Anyway. If Morok is Starkiller, I will lose my shit. But because of that, I doubt it will be. Also, I did see somebody screen capped it somewhere. In the credits, Sam Witwer is listed. I haven't confirmed it for myself, but somebody had like screenshotted something from Ahsoka that shows that Sam Witwer is somewhere in here. And like I mentioned in the videos that I did, that Sam Witwer very well could be in there, but he's also been in the other shows as well. He does voices, he's done walk-on cameos. It's not necessarily confirmation of anything, but it does raise an eyebrow, at least to keep an eye out. The Indian American guys are right. When it got interesting in season 3, 2 was meh, hits and misses. The turkey thing was funny. You're welcome. Rest of the year. Yeah, I think I answered that. Snow White, though. Yeah, there's not even like the Snow White thing. Not touching that with a 10-foot pole. No matter what side of the fence you're on with that one. I'm not talking about that movie in that space. But the dwarves, what they did with the dwarves, I just don't understand. We talked about that before. I don't get that. You met Barry and Oliver. Awesome. Were they nice? Yes, they very much so were. The thing is, I would say Grant was a little too nice. The workers at the con had to have Grant like shorten his responses and stop taking selfies with people, because he wasn't offering selfies with people at the table. But if you asked him, he was doing them. And it was holding up the line. And his line, because he was only there for one day, was massive. It was like 3 times larger than anyone else's lines. So like he had to like, so like they had to stop him from being nice. The workers at the convention. So like that was interesting. But like Steven had been there all weekend, so like his line wasn't as fast, like as hectic. So like I was in and out of that one in like 20 minutes. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, they were pretty, they were chill as hell. I didn't waste any other time. I got what I needed. I moved on, but for the little moment, yeah, they were great. Michael and his pimps, aka the pictures in the back. Hey, wait, they pimped me out? feel like they could do better. What's your favorite TV show this year so far? Minus Succession. Well, haven't watched that, and I have not watched The Bear. Haven't seen any of these two shows. I think you guys know that. We've talked about I've not seen either of these. If I've seen it, you guys will have seen me see it. I've not watched anything that has not been on the channel. I don't have the time to enjoy anything myself. That's why I stick to YouTube videos in my spare time and or just little non-committal video games. Yeah, so I haven't. If you haven't seen me watch it, I haven't watched it. Last of Us was great too. Last of Us was very good. Woke is now a throwaway word, pretty much. Christopher Eccleston is my favorite Doctor. I was surprised to learn he wasn't even technically supposed to be the Doctor. Tennant was the first choice for the Ninth Doctor, but he wasn't available. Yeah, that breaks my heart even more for Eccleston, because I know he's got a very harsh relationship with the series, even as a fan favorite for a lot of people. He's got a very bad taste in his mouth for having worked on that show. And then when I learned that, it just kind of added salt to the wound that I don't even have. When he was only brought on so that they could start production because they couldn't halt it. They wanted Tennant, but Tennant was at the end of another show. So they did the regeneration thing once he became available so that they could then have Tennant. When it was supposed to, they wanted it to be Tennant from the get-go. It's just, God, so many feels bad for Eccleston, man, in the whole thing, because now he just loathes it, and anytime he can poke fun at it for the fans, like, he does come out a little bit swinging. But yeah, I don't blame him at all. Woke has been hijacked a long time ago. It's been a long time, and it's more and more popular to be used in the most incorrect of ways. Why do you and Alex Garfin look like brothers in that picture? It's probably the long hair and the fact that we got matching Superman shirts. Not matching, that we both have Superman shirts. Technically, I'm wearing a Superboy shirt and he's wearing a Superman shirt when he's kind of Superboy, but it's whatever. Semantics. When David Tennant was finally available, Russell T Davies straight up told Eccleston he wasn't coming back for the next season. Yeah, it was shitty, dude. And I didn't know about this thing about how people in the UK treat each other from different regions. I didn't know about the fact that he was like made fun of on the set, talked down to, treated like he was stupid and all this stuff. Like the way I understood it, because of like his accent and where he was from, he's basically was treated like the people in the States treat people from the South. Like if you have like a Southern accent, people automatically just assume you're stupid. So like I heard about that too, that people on the set always just gave him a hard time just because of where he was from too, on top of that stuff. Just sucks, man. Haven't seen the DC animated movie universe. Is it worth watching? Very much so, yes. Politicians really drive me nuts. It wasn't for you. Exactly. Definitely not, for sure. It's just been, oh my god. Anyway, I'm just gonna get out of it. I'm not gonna, we'll go down a rabbit hole that's just gonna make me mad. That is why for so long Eccleston has hated Doctor Who and wouldn't attend conventions for a long time. For people saying you need to watch Rebels, no you don't at all. I did was look it up, Thrawn and Chopper scenes, and I'm not lost at all. But that is homework. That is homework you did for the show. I don't think it's necessary, but I do feel like you miss out a lot of the impact of it. Especially if you don't do the homework at all going into it. Because I've seen some pushback from people who have never watched any of it, and they're like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And some of these are like people who actually write for big stuff have been like, what the fuck is this? Do you think we'll lose any more members of the Bad Batch next season? I hope not, but it's very much possible. For those that want to know, woke is an adjective derived from African American vernacular English, meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. Yep. That was the original use of that, at least in that way, in anything other than to do with sleeping. But that's the thing. It's supposed to be, that's what it's supposed to invoke, is that connection. You are waking up and realizing that the world around you, the realities of the world, you've exited the dream, right, Christina? That's the idea originally, was that if you are, goddamn, we're here, we're talking about it again. If you are woke, you are acknowledging the problems in the world and that they exist. Like, if you're using it in any kind of negative connotation, that just shows that, one, you don't know what it means, and accidentally you are saying, maybe not even accidentally, because people are knowingly throwing this word around, not using it in the correct way. You are saying you are for oppression. You are for prejudice. You are for discrimination. You are for inequality. You are for putting yourself above other people. Like, how do you say that with confidence and not be a fucking idiot? Ugh. Sorry. Anyway, moving on. Started watching X-Files for the first time a few days back. I'm loving the journey so far. How far are you? I know you told me you started it. How far have you gotten? Hell yeah. I got another one, guys. Dude, next week. Oh my god. No, not next week. The week after next, I'm going to that X-Files convention, and I'm both nervous and excited. Prediction, end of episode 4, we are first time seeing Thrawn, and then cut to black. When I think Peter Capaldi, I think of his speech in the Zygon episode. It moves me to tears every time. Me, too. To be woke politically in the black community means that someone is informed, educated, and conscious of social injustice and racial inequality. A friend did the lion cut on our cat, ended up looking like he had 80s leg warmers on his legs. They definitely do that. They definitely do. The Poland movie looks incredible. Can't wait to see that in theaters. I haven't actually seen a trailer for it. I haven't seen anything from it except for the poster, I think. Ahsoka's really good so far. I really hope Disney... I assume you meant I hope that they don't mess up at the end. The most anticipated movie for the rest of the year. Oh, Napoleon. Hell yeah. I can get that. Now examine how many non-POV people, I think you mean POC. Yeah, V is right beside the C. Use that term in social media and outlets in the last 4 years. And again, in the dumbest of ways. I'm gonna start watching through the Expendables movies with my dad this weekend. Why did I say it like that? Once per week, leading up to Force release in theaters. No one getting into, so I hope it has a blast. I've seen the first 3. I'll be honest, the trailer for 4 looks, for me, awful. Like, I don't know. I love going to the theater. Who won't? Has anyone seen Cobweb? Horror film with Lizzie Kaplan. Not sure whether to watch it. It's also got Anthony Starr in it. Homelander from The Boys. I have not seen it. I have not seen it yet. I haven't been in the theater since Spider-Verse. Too much of a house cat. Ahsoka's really good so far. I hope you did. Okay, you corrected it. You corrected it. Got you. AC can't reach under these mountains. Jesus. Oh my god, Christina. So many people recommend me seeing so many shows, saying they're top tier, and I'm just like, I do not have time to watch 20 shows that are over 8 seasons or 20 episodes a season, 45 minutes episodes. I just can't. Dude, that is the daily existence of me putting this channel out there, man. On top of just existing and work, like talking to people and like in person and at the workplace and stuff, getting recommendations left and right. Just having a public video where everybody's just commenting with their suggestions that's completely opposite of what you are currently watching. Like, it's impossible. And I do, like, cherish the little time I do have now when I don't watch or have to watch anything more than I ever before. I'm watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, season 6 so far. Would love to see your reaction. We'll see. Have I seen Futurama and Disenchantment? I've seen a little bit of the first season of Disenchantment, and I did not enjoy it. And I watched all of the original run of Futurama up into the ending, but I haven't watched any of the new stuff yet. What is this last one here? IJBOLE. Hey dude, what's up? Just finished your Superman reaction and loving the new origin. Me too. The Office, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Rec are great. Not traditional sitcoms since they are single cam without any form of laugh track or live audience. That's why I wasn't sure what classified as a sitcom these days. Yeah, that means I just burst out laughing. Okay, you went on to do that. For all you millennials and olders out there, how dare you? I literally fell right into that. Blind Wave finished watching B99 and Real Rage X are watching it right now. Cool. I feel like you can tell that Rebel Moon's a ripoff of Star Wars to the point that it will become mediocre with good visuals. Still gonna see it though. Yeah, I mean, we know that originally. Didn't this Rebel Moon started off as a failed Star Wars script, right? Or is that just what's the word I'm looking for? Urban legend already. Because I heard that this was his pitch for a rated R Star Wars movie, and Lucasfilm was like, nah. And then Netflix picked him up, and he was like, okay, well, I'll do it, and I'll just alter everything. It looks great. Like, it looks visually impressive. The scope looks intense. And, yeah, I don't know. Story could be whatever. I don't know yet. The trailer wasn't very heavy on the story or the characters all that much, outside of the legend and what legends are and stuff like that. And he's just like, yo, fuck it. I'm just gonna make a cool sci-fi film. And I'm like, as long as it lands, I don't care. It looks good, but I don't want to poke the bear that is the Snyder fandom, man. I really hate going to the theater, and I have since long before COVID. I'm the weird one. I know. I hate the crowds, the cramped feeling. I hate having to wear clothes. I mean, all of it. I can respect that a little bit. You little nudist. That's hilarious. You had to just include the clothes part. But I get you, man. Having to get dressed up and go out and who knows, maybe even get sweaty, bump elbows with somebody, have somebody coughing in your ear. There are negatives to it, but at the end of the day, if you have a solid audience, I think the experience for me it can't be beat. Parks and Rec is the best of the four, in my opinion. I haven't seen them all. Closely followed by B99. Office quality drops off sharply throughout its run. Why does Yoruichi from Bleach sound like Barry White? On episode 15 of I think you mean of season 1. And I love me some Hatton Clogs. Hatton Clogs is my favorite character in the whole show. Tell me, does Rukia and Ichigo get together? Just spoil me. Do you really want me to tell you? And there's a reason for Yoruichi. It's a very deceptive reason. But don't worry, you'll get to it. It's the reveal is quite a ways away for the Yoruichi thing. There's actually not a good reason why Yoruichi sounds like Barry White, but it's for a disarming purpose. I'll say that much. Love people's reactions when I say Star Wars sequel. I like the Star Wars sequels, but didn't enjoy Breaking Bad. You think I said I skinned dogs for fun? I like what I like. I don't watch what I don't enjoy. I didn't like Breaking Bad. God damn. Nah, I'm kidding. Kinda. I feel hurt. Talking sitcoms, I'd only recommend for a reaction channel is Ted Lasso. It's not a traditional sitcom. It's a sitcom? It's hilarious, yes, but moving more than many dramas. Yeah, Coyote's out for blood. As a historian nerd, Excited about Napoleon. Hope they stay true to the history and not do a Mel Gibson with it. Oh gosh. What does that mean? I'm curious. MCU had some good balance between drama and humor in phase 1 to 3. I do agree with that, and I think we just took a wrong turn somewhere. Wrong turn at Albuquerque, as they say. I like how season 9 brought Zoom back. Yeah, I did until they wasted it. It is what it is. Did anyone see the new Green Day Nimrod t-shirt with Trump's mugshot with Nimrod symbol on his face? Brilliant. I don't know what this Nimrod thing is. Oh, okay. Sorry. I mean, I like Green Day, but like, I don't recognize the cover. That serial killer face. The Bear is a show you would enjoy a lot. Hope you react to it in the future. We'll see. Merrick is going to be Filoni/Disney-fied version Star Killer. AKA, he'll be 10 times more lame. Well, I hope not, if they do that. I second the Bear. Just got started with it the other night. Last week's Hot Ones Games live stream was so much fun. My stomach was not happy about that one, but I did have fun. It was a lot of fun. Bear is one of the best shows. One of these days, I'll give it a go, possibly. I would watch a Doctor Who Star Wars crossover. Me too. Hell yeah, it was. Freaking loved Quiplash. That was so much fun, man. Even though I'm partial to the Murder Party, I very much so had fun with Quiplash. We got some beady eyes from Barry in the chat. Getting more traction with Sam Witwer being a voice in Ahsoka. I'm hoping fans understand he's not going to be broken in canon. Probably not, though. Yeah, but you got all these people who loved Starkiller literally because he was a power fantasy, and that's the only reason that he's their favorite. Bear 7 Dishes episode was one of the best TV shows episodes this year. I got no context for what that is. That was too much triggered childhood for me, Haruka, but yeah, really realistic and uncomfortable, well done and acted. What was that too? Oh, okay, never mind. I don't know what that context, but I know what you were talking about, or responding to, I think. Such an eerie coincidence with the witch's name. My stepsister passed away Tuesday night. Her name was Morgan. I got the call after watching the first episode. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry to hear about that. But that is mildly unsettling, like even more so than just the natural event itself. I wouldn't know how to read that either, to be honest. In the L Comics, Rexplode wasn't rude to Mark. He actually thanked Mark for saving him from Monster Girl. Interesting. Don't know why they went the asshole route. Glenn ended it for me. I've been wanting to come back and finish it, but I'm so far back. Yeah, the Glenn thing ended it for a lot of people, but I knew that was going to happen, so it didn't bother me at all. Because I wasn't doing reactions then, but we still had like watch parties even at the time for it back then. And my reaction when the people got the bat was woo! Because my predictions were correct. Take that as you will. What's up, Bobby Patel? What's up? Welcome. Watch, Sam Witwer is just a voice of a droid. I mean, it's, like I said, it's very possible. In my opinion, Ahsoka is better than Mando so far. This was classic Star Wars. It definitely, it felt cinematic in scope for me. Like, it really did. But I don't know if I would put it above Mando Season 1 or 2 just yet. Or even, I don't know. I don't know if I'd put it above any of it. In 2 episodes, I don't know that if I'd put it above any of it. Because even so, I know most people disagree. Mando Season 3 is my favorite season of that show so far. But, yeah, we'll wait and see. Who knows? Could start off great and fall off. I'm not going to jump the gun just yet on the first 2 episodes. But, for me, But I love what we've got so far. I've got some issues with it, but I love it more than any of those little issues can bring it down at all. And Christina, again, if you're still here, I still see you in the chat. Can you say, yes, spoil it, or no, do not? Yeah, Whitver is confirmed as extra vocal work in episode 2. More grunts while fighting Ahsoka. They definitely have to nerf, maybe retcon some, or to do it. I really think Marek might be him. That could be interesting if they do it right. ER was another show that went on way past when it should have ended, and when there was literally no one left, the original cast. To quote Elsa, let it go. Yes. What are the other celebs that I've met? So just Stephen Amell, Grant Gustin, Alex Garfin, if you want to include him, Kevin Conroy, Kevin Smith, and Steve Blum. That's pretty much it. The guy that plays Bogdan, I met him on a plane to Albuquerque once. He was on my plane. Bogdan from Breaking Bad. No, I wouldn't say he's a celebrity, not to be like rude or anything, but I met him. I usually defend Disney when people call them woke and stuff like, but the dwarves in Snow White, that's just, yeah, I'm starting to see where that's coming from. See, that's the part I can't wrap my head around, is the choice for the dwarves. Grant talks so much and loves himself and the fans. Yes, he does. Stopped caring about The Walking Dead the day I got past the 12 to 18 months into the apocalypse and gasoline was still working. Spoiler, it doesn't. And other nonsense like that. Still watched up until Lucille, though. Yeah, I mean, I could put past all of the stuff, like the logistical physics of certain things like that, like the gasoline still being effective. I can get past stuff like that, because there's a lot of stuff in movies and TV shows that just real-world applications do not apply, that we just give passes to, so it is a thing, man. I get you that. And I was out after that. Yeah. I got tapped. I took a multi-year hiatus after season 8's ending. Have I watched the Session of the Bear, since you never told us? I have mentioned that many times, actually, that I have not seen those two, and I mentioned it again earlier, but I had not got to your point in the chat yet. I think personally that 9-5 is the best episode of The Walking Dead ever. That episode, I still continued to like the show. There were some things I didn't like, but it wasn't bad. I love season 9 and 10 and 11, to be honest. Everything about the show was Lauren Cohen as Maggie. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like I said, there were some good moments post season 8, but nothing had me like worried about anyone, really, personally. Michonne killing the kids was a great episode, but yeah, I can see thematically I like Connie with Daryl in season 9. Cook and could have lived without season 10. I see what you mean. Yeah, I feel you there. I do like Connie and Daryl, for sure. I'm right there with you on that one. I like Mando season 3. Me too. Haven't watched Mando season 3. Running away from cups and various items. It's fine. It's fine. I've seen the first Rocky movie, but do you need to watch the rest to watch Creed? You don't need to, but I would say you should at least watch Rocky 2 and Rocky 4. Grant being so nice made me smile because he's just adorable. Hey, I'm gonna lie. Sure, yeah, he is. Yeah, I remember watching an interview with Eccleston, had just been cast, and he was so excited. He talked about how this was his dream come true, and he remembers watching the original show as a kid. That just makes it even more heartbreaking, man. And the height, too. You and Alex look almost the same height-wise, too. Don't forget that. That is very true. Freaking love David Tennant. Dude, he's having a year. If you watch Blind Wave, you don't need the homework. Eric fills you in. That's a good point. You can always watch reaction channels to fill in the gaps if you don't have the time for the shows themselves, which is not something I should say, or promote at all, but I've also been guilty of it. And then his final interview before the Regeneration episode aired, and he was just so indifferent to everything. And then halfway through the interview, he just says, no more questions, and walks out. Yeah, it's gotta be heartbreaking, man. What's up, Rebecca? Heidi hi, working and lurking. We'll get that job done. Emotional-wise, I would watch Rebels as long as you do the homework, it's fine. Arlene Sorkin, voice of Harley Quinn, has passed away at the age of 67. R.I.P. Aw. That's awful. That still feels so young. Iconic. Rebecca the Creeper. Yes, spoil it. No, they do not. They are not in-game. I was also never one to ship them, so I ended happy. Morpheus waking up Neo. Speaking as a southerner from the UK, the North are a much more friendly and casual bunch of people who benefit from not having the London elitism nearby. That may be where that came from. See, I think that was like the reverse of it here, you know, because like here it's the opposite. Like North is all the elitists. North and West, depending on how you view it, you know. But if you have like anything like resembling a southern twang at all, people automatically have a thought about you, you know. The robot. Why shouldn't we be for oppression? Childhood trauma creates the best stories. I mean, technically you're not wrong, but Eccleston was a great doctor. Lots of planets have a north. Is that where that line came from, now that I'm thinking about it? Have I checked out New Rockstars decoding the language on the maps at the end of Ahsoka? I saw somebody else do it before them. I saw it online. Like, people screenshotted it with it translated. So I don't know who did it first, but somebody else, I think, beat them to it, to be honest. But I've seen the translations on the maps already. I'm still at episode 5 of the X-Files. Ooh, you've been through some good ones so far, but you got some pretty great ones to go, man. You got a long haul, though. I'm 8 episodes. Let's go. Are you watching too, Sean? Ruka, how are you liking it? Whenever my uncle moans about some woke storylines, I have to remind him that people like me, his own queer niece, do exist, and we want representation on screen as well. Yup. And how, did they even use it in the right manner? Anyway, we'll get away from that. I already see why Omni never shuts up about it's a fun show. Okay, so you did start it. Hell yeah. I got two people watching the best show ever. What's up, Jordan? Not too much, just hanging out, having fun. I don't remember what this was about. I hope it's about my explanation of woke. Watching Torchwood congruently with Doctor Who, and how did Torchwood have 4 seasons? I like the characters, but the plots are distasteful. Dude, I finished it to finish it. I did not finish Torchwood because I enjoyed it. I'll tell you that. It'd be hilarious to see people walk around the giant parasite suit, right? Need to finish The Good Place. Haven't watched the final season yet. I've been putting it off since it was so good, and I don't want it to end. Yes. Haven't watched that one. Barry's watched The Good Place. I know she really liked it. Zach pitched it to Disney for a Star Wars movie. They didn't want to do it, so he changed some stuff and did it with Netflix. So that's what I heard as well. Very late here, so see you later, honey. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you were here long enough to hear some of my responses at least. But take it easy. Have a good night. Very good. Thanks for stopping in. Good Place makes me cry in happiness. It's 5:48 for you. It is now 6:05. I'm not too far behind. I'm like, what? About 20-ish minutes? 15, 20 minutes? Theaters require clothing? That's why I got arrested. God. To be fair, I have a dress code at my school, so I kind of hate wearing clothes too sometimes. But I'm not a nudist, I swear. Have you thought about... I'm weird. Like, I don't like being nude. I don't know why. Especially if, like, I'm touching something. You know, I can't sleep without wearing something. I just can't. Like, it just... I don't like being bare to, like, sheets or anything. Is that weird? You thought about doing live watch parties for some shows? I've thought about doing something like that, maybe for like a rewatch or something fun like that, doing like a watch party in Discord or something of the sort. But it's hard to find that balance between what to do and where to do it, you know, for the channel and what would be better. But I have thought about that, or you know, games or something like that, you know, just with members and all that. Good night, Ruga. I'm out of here to just try to put some food in the belly. Fasting is the worst, but it does lead to weight loss, and spinach becomes more of an option due to starvation. Have a great one. That is one way to look at it. That's definitely one way to look at it. Christian! I may streak every Sunday, but there's a reason for it. What the fuck? I don't know. If you don't like Breaking Bad, you definitely skin dogs for everything. Sorry, I really did try many times. See, for me, like, the first time I tried to watch Doctor Who, I had a hard time and I stopped. It wasn't until I watched it again way later that I actually pushed past the first couple of episodes, and once I got the feeling for the show, it's now one of my favorite shows of all time, but it took me a couple of times to make it over that hump. Let's see. I know some people say Snyder is all style, to each their own, but I enjoy most of his stuff. Looks fun, like an epic sci-fi movie. Sit on the couch and watch some pizza and popcorn and have a blast. Yeah, I don't love all of Snyder's stuff. There's a couple here and there that I just... It was fine or just not my thing. But, like, he does have some hits. Like, there are some things that I really do enjoy a lot. You know, like, I don't know. I get it. He's not for everybody. He's not everything he makes is for me either. So it's just not all of this going to be the case. It's, you know, not everything a director's going to make is going to be popping off with everybody. We love your Severance reactions, Michael. We can talk about it more next week because I need to pick your mind more. People are way too into peer pressure or demanding too much. Lives are thin. Well, yeah, we can definitely talk about it on the stream next week if you would like. My reaction to episode 3 will be out by then. So I'll be a little deeper into it. This was a response to the Nimrod question. Theaters requiring clothing is why I don't go. Gosh, people. This background music makes me miss Tron. It does. I can agree with that. I do miss Tron as well. Breaking Bad lost me at the plane crash at the end of season 2. When that happened, I started laughing and couldn't stop. Could never take the show seriously again. Really? Really? I mean, I wholly buy that myself. The effect was a little cheap for the time. I mean, the show didn't have a huge budget by any stretch, but emotionally, it hit me pretty hard. Especially what comes after that, because the show just keeps getting better after that. Yeah, after Hot Ones was fun. I got to win as Omni's daddy. You did. You did. I know what happens after, and everyone talks about how great it is, but I could just never get back into it after that ridiculous plot point. See, I found it, like, wholly realistic, given the circumstances. Little jump the sharky, but to each their own, to each their own. Mel Gibson had a history of distorting history movies. Taking some liberties is fine, but complete inaccuracies like Braveheart is just wrong. See, I enjoyed Braveheart, but I don't know the real story of it, so I don't know how much that was changed. I also haven't seen it since I was a kid, though. Again, I'm the weird one. I know. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm gonna come out with a hot take. Most people like Starkiller because he's broken. As long as they write him well, it shouldn't be a problem, but there's gonna be a shit ton of people that are mad because he's not the big macho, all-powerful power man fantasy that he was written to be. So there's going to be plenty of people that, no matter what, if he's not ripping Star Destroyers out of the sky with his bare hands, it's not going to be enough. Oh my God, the Seven Fishes episode. Now you guys are setting expectations, but I guarantee if I do watch this show, I will have forgotten about this comment by then. Would it be hard to power scale to a certain degree when bringing a video game Star Wars character to live action? Because Cal, for example, outside of cutscenes, is only as good as the player is. That is true. I mean, even in cutscenes, he's as good as a good or competent Jedi. Like, at least in the Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor games, like, he doesn't do anything we haven't seen other people do, to some extent. So that's a little bit easier than before. So I hope we get Cal Kestis in live action while Cameron Monaghan could still play the role. The only historical action in Braveheart is that it's set in Scotland and then the names. Everything else is fabricated, even the portrayal of Robert the Bruce as a traitor. What the fuck? See, I don't know any of that. Yes. I regret to inform you that your sock is untied. My deepest condolences. Damn it. Hold on. Gotta tie my sock real quick. Glenn's death wasn't spoiled for me by the stream. I would have left the show. I forgot about that. You were like, what, in season 1 or 2? And I just... somehow it come up on the stream. And I was like, yeah, man, when Glenn dies. And I was like, oh, fuck. Wait, shit. Sean's watching the show. Whoops. I still feel so bad about that. I'm sorry. Love characters getting their heads bashed in. Omni. Woo! Listen, was Abraham really that beloved? I mean, like, he was cool and all on, but they were foreshadowing the shit out of his death. Like, that entire season. It was just like, every season, every episode opened with a Abraham's about to die billboard, basically. Imagine the Punisher throwing a tantrum at the dinner table with Saul Goodman about Seven Fishes. If you think you will enjoy that, go watch Bear immediately. What the fuck? It does sound enjoyable. As a Scot, that really infuriates me. Robert the Bruce was and is a national hero here. Fought bravely for Scottish independence, yet Mel Gibson made him out to be a cowardly traitor. Okay, that's got to be infuriating. I can understand that. I just don't know. I'm sorry for being ignorant of the history there. Even though I knew Carl was kicking the bucket, I still felt empty watching the show afterwards. Right? And then when you learn about the why he was written out of the show, it's mildly even more infuriating. The argument of Glenn dies in the comics sucks because so did Carol, and she lasted the entire series on TV. Carl also didn't die, so the team definitely made some poor choices. Very true. And the fan favorite who's got another spinoff doesn't exist at all, like Daryl. Yeah, just like, there's no character that filled Carl's shoes. Carl was like at least in the source, was the through line. He was there at the beginning and there at the end. Like, and it's all that journey. And they could have done that with Judith, but they didn't, and they haven't. Not one scene after season 8 made me feel better. Very true. Met Aaron Paul when I worked at Best Buy in Idaho. How did that go? Disney is literally the encapsulation of you live long enough, you see yourself become the villain in more ways than one. Very true. Mando Season 3 is the best. I do love aspects of the standalone nature of its first season, but I love that 3 had more clear through line and focused story. Love all 3 seasons nonetheless. I'm right there with you, good vibes, man. Right there with you. Me and Tom Holland have been in the same room close enough for me. That's fair. Met Christian Nair, Hodor from Game of Thrones, and never felt so tiny in my life. When he shook my hand, his grip went past my wrist. Good God. I know he's a big dude, but you gotta be tiny yourself. If his hand was encapsulating your wrist, such a nice man. Like, he really does seem like a sweet... Isn't he like a DJ? Doesn't he like do, doesn't he like... I'm just like, why am I trying to come up with another word? Is he just a DJ? I should have just ended right there. He does something musically, I think. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Rebecca. Thought so. Walking Dead post-season 8. Good, bad, 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 bad. Okay, bad, great, bad. Best episode in a while. Bad, 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 bad. Greatest episode of TV. Bad, 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 good. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Person I knows a person met Hugh Jackman, so that counts. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy that met Elvis or some shit is what that sounded like. Yeah, I saw that. I spoiled it for you. Yeah, that's the thing though. Even though I'm reacting to the current season and I have read the current season and I remember very little. I remember the epilogue at least. So I know where people end up. In the years past the end of the series. Because I think at the main plot ends, there's like a 10, 15 year jump, and you just see everybody as what they're into. That's all I'll say. Uncle used to date Natalie Portman many, many, many years ago. That counts. But did you meet Natalie Portman? No one commented on the Ryloth role in episode 2 of Ahsoka. I mean, it is what it is, man. The issue with doing the double deaths was that it made Abraham's less impactful, because Glenn overshadows his. Should have saved Abraham's death for during the all-out war and the war actual stakes. I get why they did it. It was to appease the comic fans for a big moment, but as well, hopefully shock some people who were expecting Glenn to go down. So I get why they did it. That's why I was like, okay, they're definitely going to do Glenn. I was like, but they're going to do someone else as well, because they're going to try to have their cake and eat it too. And that's why I was so excited when I called it, because I was like, they're going to do both. Some people were like, nah, they're going to let Glenn live and they're just going to kill Abraham. And I was like, no, they're going to do both. They're going to do both. And I was like, woo! That's all I was happy about. There's only one Snow White, and that's the classic first ever Disney movie. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't even like that one. I don't really even care for it. I'll be honest, I don't care for a lot of the original stuff, like the old stuff. Like, that's one I really don't give a shit about, but I just don't understand some of the decisions they just made about the dwarves, man. I just don't get it. And just some of the story changes and all that, just in general. I just don't. Just stop remaking stuff. I'm so over it. Depends on the show, but there's certain shows you can keep up with just by watching reactions. But if the plot is complicated, you'll just be lost. That is very true, because we do have to think about it. Like, we watch like a 44-minute show, we can only show you 10-ish minutes. That's a lot of shit you're missing. Even if we like combine and truncate conversations to get the gist out of something, there's still a lot that is left on the floor. For like 34 minutes minimum of some shows that aren't there. So like there is a lot that gets missed. But it is like it is one way to get into it. 4-year-old me who virtually lived in her Snow White costume is offended. She's like literally the worst Disney princess. I need to prepare myself for Inoue and Ichigo. They're gonna be a thing, so I can throw up in my mouth and learn to deal with the sour taste. I love Rukia so much, they feel destined, but Milk Jugs is there. You're on episode 15. See, like, even by that point, I never saw Rukia and Ichigo's interaction as anything more than friendship. You know, I know I already outed what happens there in the Merce. But like, there's some stuff that I don't know. I just never got that vibe. They just felt like siblings to me from the get-go. But I like where Rukia's trajectory goes. It makes more sense for me. I don't think Mando season 3 was that bad, but I had a problem with the shifting focus from Din. I'm the opinion that they peaked at season 2 and wrote themselves into a corner. They did write themselves into the corner there. I do believe that. I remember back when I watched The Walking Dead, so many people were shipping Daryl and Beth, and I was like, that's an arrest waiting to happen. There's no law in the apocalypse. Yeah, there was a lot of that, and I was like, nah. Dude, I like, Daryl and Carol, I honestly thought was going to end up being a thing. But, yeah, I did feel a little like, what are they doing with Daryl and Beth right now? What is happening? I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. It's like, but I really do like Daryl and Connie, though. I think they were a great little mix, even though it is what it is. Milk jugs. Dude, I had to, like, not comment on today's reaction about a certain thing, because I was just like, I'm not even going to say anything right now, because it got to that outfit. That outfit. And I'm just like, Nope. Not saying anything. Just got here and said I missed whatever combo was being had about Rope. You could always go back and hear that, at least. Recently did a rewatch of season 3 of Mando. Freaking loved it still. Any more series reactions coming up? Love Severance. Have you seen Silo from Apple as well? I have not. But I'll be doing another poll to see what will be replacing Severance once we get to the end of it. Once we get to episode 4 or 5, I'll probably start the new poll. See what takes its place. Part of me doesn't want Ahsoka to end because that means the end of Ray Stevenson's career. Even though I'm very new to him, I already put Black Sails on my list because I heard he's great in that. Yeah, the first thing, honestly, he was Punisher once, right? I never actually saw that Punisher film. But I think my first exposure to him was when I did the reaction to RRR, and he was solid in that as the villain there. But yeah, he's just got this air about him that's just so honorable yet imposing. But I don't know if I've seen him in anything else. But yeah, it is sad, especially considering he's doing so good so far with just so little. Oh yeah, he was Volstagg in Thor. I forgot about that. Oh shit, he voiced Gar Saxon. I didn't know that. Yeah, he's been Volstagg in all the Thor films in which he appears. He's in G.I. Joe Retaliation, but I'll be honest, I don't remember that movie. Yeah, that's everything I would have seen that he's been in, unfortunately. So wait, you had a whole body covered up when you sleep and your skin doesn't touch anything? I mean, I have like shorts. I still have like shins and feet and my hands. I don't like put on like a bodysuit. You know, watch party of your favorite X-Files episodes, then you can give your fun factoids along the way. That's not a bad idea. Like, Jesus, why do so many people want them to hook up? Like, Daryl, my dude, you don't need... Right? You said you tried many times to enjoy Breaking Bad, but have you watched it while smoking? I'm sure you enjoy it then. Oh my god. Maybe. Watched All the Good Place this year, loved it, it's quite emotional. Last time I watched something whilst high was Doctor Strange. Worst idea ever. I knew Milkshakes was going to catch him. Hope he's lactose intolerant. I like her just fine. I was just getting emotionally attached to him and Rukia, the way he drags her drawings. Yeah, like a brother would. Nah, I feel you. There's the two houses have always been conflicting on that one. I've just never been the other way about it. Because I love them more where they're at. No, for me. But, yeah. kind of push back on the "it's not for me, it's made for us" argument, because it's something truly exceptionally well. We will enjoy it and at least appreciate it for what it is. Seriously, Carol's right there, right? Wonder if Andy Serkis' character from Andor has learned to swim yet. Really hope he turns up in season 2 in a rubber dinghy. I think they confirmed he's in season 2. Could be wrong about that. I will teach him to swim. Hell, I'll fucking do it too. Snyder's best movie, in my opinion, was 300. Just an epic scene. Just epic in scope and had some great moments in it. The battle at the end was so good. Besides that, everything else has been mid to okay. I still really like Zack Snyder's Justice League. But outside of that, I do really love 300. I did not like Watchmen when I originally watched it, and I have not watched it since. I need to probably rewatch it as an adult because I just could not get into it at all when it came out. And I saw it like twice in theaters, and I just could not. I couldn't. I didn't enjoy it. But like, what was the... I like Man of Steel. For a long time, it was my favorite DC film. I did not like Batman v Superman, even remotely, originally. Yeah, you're whining. The Ultimate Cut does make it better, but it still doesn't make it good, in my opinion. And what was... I liked Army of the Dead. That was fun. It was very J.J. Abrams puzzle boxy, and we still haven't followed up on half of that. So at the same time, that's a huge mixed bag. What's the one I'm trying to think of? Sucker Punch was interesting. I don't know if I would call it good. I haven't seen the director's cut of it, though. Or that, there isn't one. Yeah, it's not out. He says there is one, and that they kind of butchered the ending or something like that, and I don't know. It's not a studio mess, but I don't know. I remember enjoying it fine, but wasn't blown away by it. So yeah, like I've said before, like a lot of his stuff has been very much hit or miss for me. Some say there's a Tron 3 in the works. No, there is. There's a Tron 3, but it's not following up on any of the previously established characters, so I'm very kind of ick about it. Gotta go, Omni. Love you. Take care. Take it easy. Good vibes. Carol is auntie. Stop playing. Did you see that forehead kiss in season 3? I saw that as them smashing, potentially. Besides his DC films, Man of Steel is great, and the other two are good. Yas! Because if you watched Tron 1 when it came first out, I don't think you would have expected a sequel many years later. Dude, I still love the first Tron, and I like Tron Legacy for what it is as well. I used to want Carol and Daryl together, but at the end of the day, they were best friends. So, yeah, that's where I was at. Like, for a while, I was like, is this where we're going? Like, I'm not, like, out about it. But eventually, I like the way they settled, you know? Omni had dementia. How would the stream work? Not very well. I just want Starkiller, if he comes into play, to do a signature Force-splosion move, and his body just explodes from the sheer power of Force, and Ahsoka's just like, well, that happened. That would be funny. Good sci-fi is hard to find nowadays. I just started binging Falling Skies. Did I ever watch that? No. I have not. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to look into it. Watched the Mando Season 3 gallery, and it was a little weird that Pedro wasn't in it at all. I'm guessing he was doing The Last of Us at the same time. That's probably very likely. Considering I don't think he didn't take his helmet off once in Season 3, so I'm pretty sure he was never on set for Season 3. Right? I don't remember a moment he took his helmet off when we saw Pedro's face. It's very good still. I agree. Hot take, Snyder has never made a single good movie. The only thing he's ever brought to the table is visuals. For someone like me who doesn't care about visuals, don't watch anything he touches. See, I think 300 has that, but I also think that Zack Snyder's Justice League is pretty fucking solid. Maybe it's because I just think it's so much better than what we've got. Who knows? Other than that, I tend to agree. Speaking of the bear, I was in downtown Chicago today and went to that actual bear restaurant. It's called Mr. Beef. That's cool. Never watched The Walking Dead. Good thing. I don't really plan to, given all the spoilers this stream. Whoops. Well, I think it's one of those shows that if you haven't started it, I don't think you should. like if you weren't there to begin with, or you don't have an interest in general, it's not, I don't know if I could recommend it being like you need to go out and see it kind of show. It's got great moments, especially the early seasons, don't get me wrong, but I don't think, like, if you stay for the long haul, there's no satisfying conclusion at the end waiting for you. I wish you would just make that. Yeah. I'm just dropping unpopular takes all over the stream. Robert the Bruce has a castle with his name on it. No better tribute, in my opinion. DJ, he was DJing after the event I was at. Hot take. The show should have just been a direct adaptation of the comics. The show started to go off the rails when they branched off. Yeah, I mean, the comics weren't done at the time either, so I get it. I don't remember how far along the comics were when the show was actually getting off, so I don't know if this turned into like a manga situation where the animator's like, all right, well, fuck, what do we do? And then filler! I don't know exactly. More like campfire take. I don't really disagree, though. I almost met Nick Mason, drummer of Pink Floyd. Unfortunately, his entourage ended his time before I got to sign. Oh, that sucks. So close. I'm assuming that's not the chapstick with the hot sauce on it. That's the same stick, but there's no more hot sauce on it. Champ sauce. Kitty! Kitty! Every time the cat looks up at you, it seems like she's gonna jump up and kiss you. Or just slap me on the face. Nope, nope. Not on the desk. That's a no. He was in there buying a TV, and I set up the installation order and everything with him, and then checked him out. Sent him on his way. Funny thing, I had no idea who he was at the time. Oh, that's the worst. Prime moment too. Abraham was beloved by me, but wasn't surprised he was dying. If Glenn didn't die, there would have been side eyes. I was looking forward to that death. I just didn't need the extra 2 minutes of guys. Yeah. Hot take, Snow White and the Huntsman with Kirsten Dunst wasn't half bad. Did I say Kirsten Dunst? I did. Kristen Stewart wasn't half bad. Same with the Huntsman spinoff. I never saw the follow-up. It was fine. I didn't love it. I do remember seeing that in theaters, though, when it came out. 4-year-old me who virtually lived in her Snow White costume is offended. But my boss was literally like, hey, is that Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad? And I was like, I don't know, I haven't seen it. Oh, that's embarrassing. I was fine with the original Snow White till I learned that the prince is supposedly 31, and she was, no, it's not supposedly. She is, I think, is she 14? I thought she was 12. Either or. It's very I know, but I own the dress that earns her a few points. You say Snow White is the worst Disney princess. Why? Because she's white? Right? Define yourself by more than that. No, it's just the movie is just like kind of lame. I don't know. The best thing about the movie was the dwarf, like the hi-ho song. Dwarves, nah, their toy love story, nah, woman power, my guy. Even Queen's the last Wonder Woman. Will do a good job though. Snow White, nah, Snow Tan. That sounds like something else to me. Not ironically meaning what they're doing with the movie, but like that reminded me of what sounds like a different thing altogether. Like a name, like Snowtan. Why does that feel like something? Maybe I'm thinking of Zoltan. Anyway, not sure of how true it is, but I've seen some articles on it. No, it's mostly there. You're mostly on point with that. The actor of Snow White, I don't know about the 31 for the prince, but I know he was like in his 20s minimum. But you're right, you're pretty much in the ballpark correct about Snow White. The actor for Snow White rubs me the wrong way with the things she says. I haven't been keeping up with a lot of it. I saw like one take that I thought was kind of stupid, but I don't care. I don't care about people's personal shit as long as the thing does a good job at doing what it's there to do. Yikes. I'm getting how creepy old Disney is. I love that he doesn't have a name in that movie. His name is Prince. Prince the Prince. He's Prince. It's Princing time. Apparently, it's Prince Florian. Sure it is. Sure it is. Sounds like a name only a mother would love after dropping the baby. It's long enough to even have a name. Ian. Evil Queen doesn't even have a name either. That's very true. Side character. But to be fair, it was the first animated feature film. So they, at the time, I mean, who really cared about story or character? It was just like, ooh, moving colored pictures. So it does have at least a cultural significance in that way for the art form, you know. Side character, the person who saved Snow White and fought the evil queen on his own. Seduces a dove, then kisses a dead girl. Choices were made. Like, is she like clinically dead or just asleep? Like everybody else. I never really understood that. I was never really sure about that. I swear I probably have only seen it one time ever. The prince didn't fight the queen, she technically took herself out. How to swim, Sean edition. Don't drown, watch out for sharks. Your body is afloat. Swing your arms and legs to move. Fairly accurate. Also, Snow White kissed the dove to kiss the prince. What is happening anymore? Man, I really hope Andy hated in Andor. I loved his character. Me too. Didn't the prince fight a dragon? That was Sleeping Beauty. And that dragon was Maleficent. Really out now. Time to record. Hugs and kisses. Black Sails is bomb ass. Gets better each season, though many seem to misunderstand the ending a lot. Bye. Take it easy, Christina. And milk jugs for the win. Rebecca watched Snow White a lot. That's Sleeping Beauty. Prince fighting a dragon was Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty, same thing. Yeah. There's a lot of similarities, but there are some very stark differences as well. Prince doesn't have a name since Prince Philip. The prince who does have a name, Prince Philip. Yeah, that's the one I do remember. Both women fall asleep. Not quite like that, but yeah, I guess. Don't say anything about Sleeping Beauty or dude, Sleeping Beauty, the artwork is gorgeous. Yeah, he was a voice actor. That's why Brendan Wayne actually got credited for season 3. He got upgraded to the body of Mando and from being the stunt guy. Sorry, lost me when Lex Luthor fed a Jolly Rancher to a senator. At that point? Was that hold on, was that before or after he gave pee to a different senator? A jar full of piss. Love Sleeping Beauty, it's one of my faves. I'll have to peace out. I'll be gone before you read this, but I appreciate you putting up with me. Great stream on me. Anytime, man. Anytime. Thanks for being here. Watch the Jungle Book too much. Copy. Both animated movie, read the book. Live action one? Jungle Book? Falling Skies always reminds me of that MMO Defiance. I don't know that one. Which, funnily enough, had a TV show of its own that aired the same time as the game. I don't know any of the things you're talking about. Best thing about Snow White was the Hi Ho song. So you like hoes? Who's smoking the wood? We're seeing the show Taken. Not to do with the Liam Neeson films. Steven Spielberg is like, nah, never heard of that one. But the game did go on to get an entire main cast from the show after it was canceled. They made an entire story mode that was billed as season 4 of the show with an entire motion captured cutscenes. That's kind of interesting, actually. I mean, the Ho song is the Joe song? What happened there? That messed up my brain reading that, actually. Am I looking forward to Mike Flanagan's new show, The Fall of the House of Usher, this December? Fuck yes, I am. Dude, sign me right up with anything Mike Flanagan does at this point. I'm still so upset that Midnight Club didn't get a second season. I'm a fan of his other stuff like Midnight Mass or Hill House. Well, check out my reactions to The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, and Midnight Mass, and The Midnight Club. And you will be checking out my reactions to The Fall of House of Usher when that comes out as well. That, though, I have at least read that story once, though it has been a little while. I'm probably going to reread it before they adapt it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Don't think the dwarves called a pathologist. Sorry. The only way I'd see Snow White is if there was a magical crossover with Yarpen from The Witcher. Hawks smack to their dwarves. That'd be interesting. Hot take, Maleficent is the only good live-action Disney remake and actually has a purpose besides let's make money, and its story was top-notch. I like the second Maleficent, okay. I really didn't care for the first one. I was vehemently, personally appalled with the first one. There were some interesting ideas that it played with, but it might be because Maleficent might be my favorite Disney villain. But yeah, I personally did not enjoy that. But once I got past what they did, I was able to enjoy the second one. I thought that was fun, but I personally didn't enjoy the first one at all. As far as remakes that they've done that I didn't hate, the Cinderella one was fine. I don't know if that kicked off the craze or is included in the craze of remakes that have come after. It was fine. I liked Jon Favreau's Jungle Book. I thought it was fine enough. Not better than the original, but it was still fun. It was still it was okay. Aladdin, I think, was interesting enough. It's hard to compete with the originals here and there, but at times I did enjoy some elements of it better than the original, but man, did they fuck up Jafar. And honestly, even though I've been so sick of it, I thought the recent Little Mermaid was actually pretty good. Despite that, I'm just tired of the trend. I want the trend to be over, and you could probably pay me to watch the Beauty and Beast movie again, but I would not do it for free. I will not pay for that movie. I will not watch it for free. I do not want to see it. I do not want to watch The Lion King again, even though it was a technical marvel. I do not want to ever watch that again, man. I cackled and laughed out loud. I'm sure I annoyed some people who were genuinely actually enthralled with the movie. Couldn't handle it. I'm just done. Do something new or remake stuff that people didn't enjoy. Remake the stuff that no one watched or maybe didn't get a good reception. Remake stuff that needs to be remade. The fact that they're wanting to do a live-action remake of fucking Tangled, a movie that's not even 10 years old yet, right? Right? It's not that old yet. I assume. I don't think anyway. And a live-action Moana? Why? They're not even old yet! What the fuck? And they're doing a live-action Lilo and Stitch, and that is my fucking favorite movie, and I swear to God, they fuck it up. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just not going to watch it. I have too much Stitch stuff. Mostly off camera, but... God, I'm so afraid. Yes, Let's Loser should have been Anthony Ivo. Doomsday would have been Amazo. That could have been fun. Yes, you're right. She wasn't dead. It was a sleeping death spell. It was like sleeping as if death, right? They do the mad scientist in DC films. Ivo. T.O. Mara. Yes. Come out in 2002. Sci-fi alien abduction show. 10 episodes, about 80 minutes each. 80 minutes each episode? What the fuck? 5 decades, 4 generations of families. Well, that sounds mind-bending. Jungle Book, Aladdin, I think are really good live-action remakes. Jungle Book was the best. Original Snow White actress only made $970. Wasn't given any movie credit. What the heck? And that's the cultural tradition they're trying to continue and further these days. We would like to have your voice, likeness, and all of this, but only not pay you, or credit you, or even use you at all. And then we'll just copy and paste you into other movies that you're not even part of, contractually, in any kind of way, shape, or form. If you could play any kind of character in Star Wars, what would you play? Fucking Jedi. I don't know. I would love to be a Jedi or a Sith. Or whatever the fuck these guys are. You know, not quite either. I think that would be cool. That's what I would love to do. I wouldn't want to be shoved in a as much as I was maybe want to say Mandalorian, I don't know if I would want to be... I don't want to be in full armor all the time. So, I'd probably... Definitely Jedi. The robes breathe a little. Like Aladdin as a movie, but compared to the original's better. I'd play Amanda. I want some armor. I want my own Jedi robes. I think that would be cool. Never saw the live-action Beauty and the Beast or Lion King. Live-action remakes suck. Amy Scott as Jasmine in the live-action Aladdin was absolutely elevated, that movie. I agree to that. I do agree with that. Thought she was great. Stitch good. Oh, damn it, Lilo and Stitch, man. They cast some white chick as Nani. Well, she okay. I did see who they cast. She is biracial, but she definitely doesn't look like Nani, is what I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say. The person that they put the photos out about. But I'm more worried about Stitch. You fuck up Stitch. We'll have words. If you could appear in any era of Star Wars, would it be prequels, sequels, or the original trilogy? Prequels. Definitely prequels. More fun. If I had my pick of beyond the films, Old Republic. But neither here nor there. Live action Moana already? Why? Yep. Must be Stead and Stitch voice. I can do a pretty good one, but I haven't been able to pull it off in a long time. So I'm not going to try right now. Eccleston is freaking evil. Wasn't a good person. She didn't redeem. It came out in 2016. Loved her that way. Yeah, I love that she... Me. Anyway. I talked about this in my review for Maleficent, the first one, but they basically turned... The live-action remake sells itself as the true story. And it says the one we know is a false narrative that was spun about her, which could be interesting, but it took away everything that I actually liked about Maleficent. I mean, in the original, it's not she's good, she was not a fairy, none of this shit. Her powers, literally, as spoken out of her mouth, came from hell. And she was just so petty. She didn't get invited to a birthday party, so she just damns an entire kingdom. She's like, oh, that's cool. No invite for me? Well, fuck all y'all. That's it. And she turns into a dragon. Cool shit. But the new one basically was just like, okay, if you like that, well, that's just... It's a kind word I can use. It equated the original to... What words can be used on YouTube that will not make this bad for the stream? It equated it to old anti-Semitic propaganda that was very popular at a specific time, during a specific region, during a specific era and war. It was very popular, and it equated the original to that. It turned the original into that to justify its own story, which I couldn't respect. And then the story itself was just, I couldn't get into it, man. I just couldn't. And her familiar, making the crow a guy, then turning the guy into the dragon, into the crow, into the stuff. Like, come on. Can't even turn her into the dragon. What? Why are we doing this? We don't have to make every villain sympathetic. Some people, it's just fun to watch be evil. I wish Pacific Rim was a successful franchise. I've still never seen any of those, actually. I'm done with these remakes. Yeah, I'm kind of over it too. Even though I feel obligated to watch them regardless, I think I think I should. I don't know. Like I said, was happily and pleasantly surprised by The Little Mermaid, so I can always be wrong, but I don't want this trend to keep going. I'd love to be a prequel Jedi. I love me some armor, but not restricted at all. I love how Slade can just be a villain to anyone. So true. Patton Oswalt is rumored to be Stitch. If true, I'm not worried. Specifically with Zach Galifianakis playing the one alien. That's true. Patton Oswalt is Stitch. I mean, maybe it could work. But I think Zach Galifianakis, he's playing Pleakley, right? I think. I rewatched some of the older Justice League and Unlimited series. Those were great shows. Thoughts on the Dune, first Dune and Part 2 being delayed? Well, I have a review for the first Dune, and I've already talked about Part 2 being delayed so much this stream. I mean, it sucks, but it's not. I'm not shocked at all. The only animated film I'd like to see done in live action is Iron Giant. Such glorious and often overlooked gem of a movie. That's a really freaking good movie. It would be interesting to see in live action. Actually. Mine is tripping on the fact that the Prince in Maleficent is the same guy that played Nightwing. Oh, he is. You're right. Not about that. Can do Stitch voice, and I'm stupidly proud of it. Yes, I'm lame. I used to have a really good Stitch voice, but I don't know if I can do it anymore. I would be a Force wielder because Jedi rules. RPA. Like, imagine BVS with Jesse Eisenberg playing Anthony Ibo, and all his acting choices would make more sense. That is accurate, more accurate at least. Making Doomsday into a Mazo turns into a movie, turns that movie into an awesome one, except for Superman. Yeah, they'd still need to cut that off. Superman dying in his second movie was stupid. I will never roll with that one. What's up, September? That's why I love Goblin No Way Home. It was just evil. You own it. Hell yeah. You know what I trend to like seeing? Superman voice actors also voicing Sephiroth. Right? That was surprising to me to see Tyler Hoechlin as also the new voice of Sephiroth. That blew me away to realize. Once you know, you can kind of hear it. But at first, I couldn't even tell until I figured out who was playing him. And I was like, oh shit, Superman is now Sephiroth. Hope you're well, showing up late. I love Lilo and Stitch and don't want a live action. And Pastor Dave from That 70s Show is Pleakley. He is the voice in the original. Pastor Dave. Forget that actor's name. I always forget his name. But yeah, it is the same guy there. But we're not bringing him back for Pleakley, though, from what I've read. I don't give a fuck about Dune 2 being delayed. I'll see it whenever it's out. That's pretty much where I'm at. It sucks, but I'd rather come out when it has a better chance of being successful. And I don't need the studios making more money off of these people when they're still not paying them for what they deserve. I still do a Squirtle and Pikachu impressions. You guys are just making me want to hear these. Now. Oh, look at that. You got a supporter here. You got a couple, actually. Ginger and Sean here. Rebecca. Side note, I really appreciate that you make the effort to pronounce people's and characters' names correctly. I watched your Squid Game reaction, and you did better than most other reactors. I really tried to make sure I was saying everybody's names right. I think I looked a couple up just to make sure. I mean, I'm usually pretty good about certain languages, but I know with like Korean, it can be a little tricky compared to others in the way certain vowels and letter combos work. But I really tried, man. I really did. I used to have an Elmo voice and have a Switch voice, a Heath Ledger Joker voice, and a Kermit voice. I can do an okay Kermit. I've never really had a good Kermit. I used to have a really good Pee Wee Herman, though. Random as that is. Don't worry, Rebecca, I can do Mickey Mouse. I can't. Eccleston was the mistress of all evil, and I love it. And I might have a bias because she is the main Disney villain in the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise, so I might have a bias there, but you know, what is? Do you have an obscure movie that you really love but most people haven't heard of? Mine is Devil's Backbone by Guillermo del Toro. I definitely haven't heard of that one, but I don't know. I think the closest thing might be HE Double Hockey Sticks. Most anything else, I would say most people know. No, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, definitely Rip Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens, man. We saw that what the Iron Giant would look like in live action through Ready Player One. You're right. I've still never seen Ready Player One, but I've seen that scene. I've seen like a breakdown of every cameo that was in that movie without having actually watched the movie ever. Christian Bale Batman is easy. That's true. Rebecca, honestly, the Kermit voice is kind of hard to master. Got some. I'm caught up to the chat. I'll get these next couple questions, and I think we'll call it at an even 7 here in a minute. Here we go. Shrek 2 does Iron Giant better. I don't remember the reference here. The ginger? Like the gingerbread cookie? Like the giant gingerbread cookie? Yeah. Okay. I was just making sure. I didn't want to come off dumber than I thought I was being. I was like, that's the only giant thing I remember in Shrek 2. Buy one, rent one, sell one. I would buy Oppenheimer. I would rent Inception. I would sell Interstellar. But that doesn't mean I don't dislike any of these films. Interstellar is my least favorite of those three, though. Good point. Ginger, forgot about that. What was that one about? Oh, right. The Ready Player One. I can do impression of the mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, that's a fun one. That's a fun little one. I don't know if that was a speedboat or a motorcycle. I just heard something. Maybe it's a weed eater. I don't know. Something's revving up outside. Then with Anthony Ivo being put in Arkham in the hypothetical movie, we could also put in a Lex Luthor tease that would pan up to a Mazotech building with the logo being swapped out to LexCorp. That's not a bad idea, Caleb. I honestly don't think that's a bad idea. Your whole little pitch. Let's see where we at right now. Guys, if you're still here, drop a like. Drop a good old like you do. Who's my favorite ghost face? Favorite ghost face is, I think favorite ghost face is probably Billy and Stu for me. Roman had an interesting premise. It's just, maybe it's just the movie hampers it. Like, the way he ghost-faced doesn't make sense in 3. While I do like 3, it played up, it functioned as if there was multiple ghost faces, because he does things he physically could not have done all by himself in that film. But the reveal of the relationship was, I liked it. So it does have some redeeming things, but Billy and Stu are just too iconic for me. Maleficent and Hades are the king and queen of Disney villains in my book. And both are still pillars of Kingdom Hearts to this day. Hades has been in every game, and so is Maleficent. Have I played Killer Frequency? It's very Scream. I have not. I'm not familiar with that. But, oh, we just got one more. I'll do this last question from Craig, and then I will evacuate for tonight. How does someone established in the industry make such a mess of Indiana Jones? 4 and 5 are two similar flavors of the same mediocrity. I enjoyed 5 more than 4. They did kind of have a lot of the same goals and approaches to certain things. I just think I enjoyed 5 more. But yeah. I kind of get you there. A little bit. But I think it should have just ended with 3. It should have just ended with 3. He's the Batman of the Ghostface. He's got that Arkham Batman speed. It still doesn't work. But anyway, thanks guys for the fun little stream. Had a lot of fun, a little chit-chatting with all the stuff. But we're gonna turn it in for tonight. And once again, next Saturday should be good. The next after, though, I'll be in Minnesota, so no stream then, but stream next week. So we'll worry about it when we get to it. But hopefully I'll see you guys next week. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Take it easy, everybody.